Here it is. Welcome to Papermaker Stadium here at J.R. Garrett's Middle School, the site for tonight's opening round playoff game between the visiting Fond du Lac Cardinals and the host Kimberly Papermakers. It's a beautiful, unusually warm Friday evening here in mid to late October, and we're proud to bring you another USA Today Network Wisconsin digital live stream. I am, of course, Ricardo Arguello, hanging out as always with Brett Christopherson, and bringing you those high-definition shots is Jim Rosandick. Again, we're all part of USA Today Network. And, Brett, boy, when these pairings came out, there were a few that stood out, and this one was definitely right at the top of the list.
I wasted, maybe 30 seconds before I sent Ryan McGinnis an email saying, hey, can we please live stream this game tonight? Yeah, I guess I know there was a lot of controversy, Ricardo, with how the seedings played out, a number of the seedings. But from my standpoint, I was not expecting a Kimberly Fond du Lac first-round game. We'll take it. Obviously Fond du Lac just a few weeks ago, right, beating Kimberly, handing the Papermakers their only loss of the season. So a very recent matchup that these two teams, when they played. It's going to be very, very interesting, the kind of the chess matches from both coaching staffs. Chad Michaelwitz, the head coach at Kimberly, Sam Pluker. A homecoming for him, the former Kimberly standout, the head coach at Fond du Lac. What adjustments will be made just from that matchup a few weeks ago? And it's always going to come down to this, Ricardo. Every football game does, but especially at this time of year. Who takes care of the football? You play clean football, the chances are you're going to win the game because we have two outstanding offenses, two outstanding quarterbacks. I'm expecting to see some points on the scoreboard tonight on both sides. And the wind, which was a factor this morning and this afternoon, it's not a factor tonight.
No.
There's no wind. So both these quarterbacks, Seth Myron and Steven Schreider, they're going to sling it all over this football field tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see what happens when all is said and done.
Again, that's Brett Christopherson, and I'm Ricardo Arguello, part of USA Today Network Wisconsin, our digital live stream team. Again, Jim Rosendick's bringing you those high-definition shots. Hey, let's get to know these teams a little bit. And, again, I'm going to read off some notes. Again, every week put together so nicely by Brett Christopherson. I'll start off with Kimberly, and then he'll finish up with Fond du Lac. Kimberly coming into the game 8-1. They're ranked third in the large division in the final Associated Press state poll. They're seeded third in their playoff regional, and they're coming off a 42-28 victory over Kokona last Friday in an FEA regular season finale here at Papermaker Stadium. Quarterback Seth Myron, just as Brett said, he had another outstanding night guiding that Kimberly offense. He threw for 358 yards and 4 touchdowns on 14 of 23 passing. Brett, my quick UW-Milwaukee Met, that's a lot of big plays, 14 completions.
That's a big night,
Yes, it is. Ethan Kreider, will check out his night. He was Myron's favorite target as the duo hooked up with 3 scores on touchdowns of 50, 44, and 53 yards. Kreider's big game included 6 receptions in all for 199 yards. Jackson Garbish, you'll hear his name a lot tonight. He had 5 catches for 115 yards, while Abe Coronado, he hauled in an 8-yard touchdown score as well. Now, the Papermakers' rushing attack, that's always been a consistent thing. That was also producing as Blake Berry finished with 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. He scored on runs of 34 and 22 yards. And, again, that 133 came on 23 carries. Kimberly rushed for 152 yards overall, and they generated 510 yards of offense. Defensively, Ethan Doucette, we'll hear his name a lot as well, was all over the field again. He finished with 10 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. Michael Padgett also tallied a sack for the Papermakers, and on the season, to get back to Seth Myron, he's thrown for 1,730 yards. That ranks second in the FEA. He also has 19 touchdowns while completing 71.5% of his passes. He also has 4 interceptions, and Barry is the team's top rusher. He's just short of 1,000 yards. He needs 12 tonight to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark. He comes in with 988, but he has 17 touchdowns, and he's averaging 6.7 yards a carry, 123.5 yards per game. Gavin Tyson, he's next with 427 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's a pretty good backup they got there, BC.
Yeah,
he's averaging
very good.
He's averaging 5.5 yards a carry and 53.4 yards a game. Garbish and Kreider, again, you're going to hear that receiving duo. They easily lead Kimberly in receiving. Garbish, a team high 37 receptions for 604 yards and 5 scores. His receiving yardage, by the way, that ranks third in the conference. Meanwhile, Kreider, real big play receiver, 34 catches and team best in receiving yards with 744, and he also has 9 receiving touchdowns, so leads the team in those 2 categories. His receiving yardage also leads the league. So defensively, we talk about Ethan Doucette, 83 tackles. That ranks 5th in the conference. That paces the Papermakers. He also has 4.5 sacks and 3 forced fumble. Sawyer Hanlon, he's the Kimberly sack leader with 5. Jack Stats is did I say that right? Stotts. Jack Stotts' 2 interceptions are tops in that category. Now, here's some team averages. Kimberly's averaging 198.3 passing yards per game. They're allowing 103.4. And Kimberly's also averaging 184.2 rushing yards a game and allowing 107.9. Brett, that's pretty balanced on both sides, on offense and defense, in terms of what they produce offensively and what they also allow. Kimberly's also averaging 37 points and allowing 13.7. Now, if the Papermakers win, they'll play either Neenah or Brookfield East next Friday in a WIAA Division I second-round game. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Again, site to be determined. Brett, what can you tell me about those Fond du Lac Cardinals?
Ricardo, Fond du Lac 5-4 on the season. Cardinals seeded 6th in their playoff regional. They're coming off a 35-10 victory over Oshkosh West. Fox Valley Association regular season finale down at Fruithfield in Fond du Lac. The final game for the Cardinals ever at Fruithfield, I believe, right? Quarterback Steven Schreider, he led a balanced offensive attack with 168 yards passing, 2 touchdowns while completing 15 of his 22 passes. He had TDs of 18 yards to Tyler Brandner and 5 yards to Max Mengel. Braden Eigenbrot, he led the way in rushing with 161 yards and a score. A 2-yard touchdown plunge with 7:18 remaining in the fourth quarter. That gave Fond du Lac a 28-7 lead. Also tacking on rushing TDs were Tanner Dalsky and Schreider, as the Cardinals finished with 217 yards on the ground, 385 yards overall. Brandner finished with 6 receptions for 92 yards. Dalkey added 5 catches for 37 yards. And then defensively, Halden Krieger, a tackling machine, Ricardo, 16 total stops. Jeremiah McGee added 9 tackles. On the season, Schreider, he's thrown for 2,144 yards and 17 touchdowns while completing 62% of his passes. He also has 8 interceptions. That passing total, of course, number 1 in the FVA. Eigenbrot easily leads the way in rushing with 844 yards and 5 TDs. He's averaging 4 yards per carry and 93.8 yards per game. Dalsky also has 5 rushing scores. I'll finish the Fond du Lac notes here in a moment. Our national anthem coming up first.
Join in singing.
Going to finish off those Fond du Lac game notes. Let's talk about receiving. Ethan Wagner-Lang, he's the Cardinals' top receiver, Ricardo, with 50 receptions, 589 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dalsky is next with 36 catches, 295 yards, and 4 TDs. Brandner is third with 27 receptions for 524 yards and 4 touchdowns. Defensively, no surprise here, Krieger leading the way with 94 tackles. McGee, he's next with 75 total stops. And then Connor Klaperick, he's third with 73 tackles. And then looking at the team stats, Fond du Lac averaging 244.7 passing yards per game, allowing 175.7. Cardinals are also averaging 134.9 rushing yards per game and allowing 175.8. And looking at the scoreboard, Fond du Lac averaging 27.4 points per game and allowing 24.4. And again, as Ricardo mentioned, whoever wins this game It's either Neenah or Brookfield East next Friday in a WIAA Division I second round game. So those are the game notes for Kimberly and Fond du Lac. Ricardo, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First, our playoff sponsor, thanks to Unison Credit Union. Unison proudly provides the people and businesses of Northeast Wisconsin with exceptional banking services and trusted financial guidance delivered by friendly experts, personal checking and personal savings, investments, loans, business checking, and business savings. Unison Credit Union, empowering you. And our season sponsor, Cellcom. Save 50% on select smartphones, plus get $200 off smart watches with a smartphone purchase. New flex agreement and monthly service is required. Visit cellcom.com/fall for details. And last but not least, our apparel sponsor, Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. Get your team, club or business name out there with Cooney's. They customize products specifically to fit their customers' needs. Family owned for 20 years. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Delivery service is available. Contact them today at 920-731-0922 or send them an email at Cooney's, COONEYS 0922 at SBCglobal.net.
Brett, you are so smooth on the promo reading, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Boy, what a beautiful night. This is like a late summer evening compared to last week when we were at
beautiful
Titan Stadium. We're all bundled up and wearing our winter coats and hats, and 70-degree day, 70-degree weekend coming up. Mother Nature treating us to one last little blast of summer, and what a great way to open the playoff season with gorgeous weather. Wind will not be a factor, as I said at the open. And not only that, but what a matchup. Ricardo, I can honestly say I was not expecting Kimberly Fond du Lac, and we'll talk about it here as the game goes on, but these two teams historically, certainly in recent seasons, they've had some memorable, crazy matchups. Very close games, a lot of historic-type games. And kind of maybe feel like we could be in store for another barn burner tonight between the Papermakers and the Cardinals. Two excellent offenses and a Cardinals team, Ricardo, that struggling to find some consistency. A team that has not posted a winning streak this year, nor have they posted a losing streak. They've gone every other week. But they've got a little bit of bragging rights, right, from that Week 7 victory that Fond du Lac was able to take down Kimberly. That was a 31-21 victory down at Fruth Field. Could history repeat again? The only team to take down Kimberly this season.
Well, we'd like to start right now, but apparently there's a TV delay that we have to...
no such thing in the live stream.
No.
World, right? But appreciate everybody checking us out tonight. We're streaming on really all our 4 I-41 sites. PostCrescent, of course, .com, FDLReporter.com, but also streaming to Green Bay Press Gazette and the Oshkosh Northwestern sites, all of the Facebook pages, and our USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel. Please give that a subscription. We appreciate you doing that, and the subscribers keep growing on our YouTube channel. Looks like Kimberly, Ricardo, set to kick off. Can hear the Kimberly fans in front ringing those cowbells as they always do. Number 0, Tanner Dalsky. Number 2, Tyler Brandner back to receive the opening kickoff here in this WIAA Division I first round matchup. A lot of scores to keep track of throughout all 7 divisions tonight. So, Ricardo, I know you're going to be busy on Twitter looking for some scores. Of course, everybody's going to want to know how that Neenah Brookfield East game is going. And we are underway, and that's going to skip in. Finally skips into the end zone. So
luckily
touchback.
So,
yeah,
huh?
he has a little bit of a risk there on the kickoff, but 1st and 10 coming up for the Cardinals on their own 20-yard line. As I said, last time these two teams met was back in Week 7, 3 weeks ago. Kimberly Fond du Lac winning 31-21. Tanner Dalsky, he had 133 yards and a touchdown. As the Cardinals, 217 yards on the ground overall. Braden Eigenbrot, 92 yards rushing in a score. He also added a game-high 13 tackles. Quarterback Steven Schreider, 214 yards and a TD on 14 of 25 passing. 5 different players caught at least 2 passes in the win. And handoff. Looks like number 16, Braden Eigenbroek, the senior running back, getting the first touch of the night for the Cardinals. Kimberly quarterback Seth Myron that night, 303 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hookups with the Jackson Garbish, Gavin Tyson. He was 22 of 27 passing that night. Finish off the rest of the Kimberly stats from that Week 7 game here after this next play. And a little play fake as Schreider knocked down. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage, Ricardo, and that was a big old number 95, Braxton Rader, the senior defensive lineman.
Well, what do they teach you? Get those hands up, get them in the throwing lanes, and that was a nice play there by the senior Rader.
So 3rd and 6, ball at the 24-yard line. Chance for this Kimberly defense to put together a quick 3 and out here on this opening possession of the game. Schreider, he's going to loft one over the top and just overshot Dalsky. It was there. Dalsky got behind the defense, Ricardo, but just a little long. We have 4th and 6. The punt team coming out for Fond du Lac.
Ty Lawton there on the coverage for Kimberly. Brett, 6', 270-pound senior. But you're right, just missed a really big play, did the Cardinals.
By the way, as I mentioned, Myron, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, 22 of 27 passing in that Week 7 loss. Garbish, he had 7 catches, 112 yards. Ethan Kreider, 8 catches, 110 yards. Blake Berry, he rushed for a score as Fond du Lac limited, though, Kimberly to just 87 yards rushing. Ethan Doucette led the way defensively with 12 tackles. As Lawton fields this for the Papermakers, they're going to get some great field position already in Fond du Lac territory. So if you're a Kimberly fan, Ricardo, you're loving this start, right? 3 and out by the defense, nice punt return, and you got an offense that can kill you in multiple ways, right? Passing, rushing, an offensive line that's been playing well, starting in Fond du Lac territory, ball at the 46-yard line.
Well, when I talked to Monkowitz about the loss, I think it was after they had beaten Neenah, he said, we were missing several key guys, Brett, during in that game defensively as well. I know Stotts was not playing. Might have been a few others. I think McGivern possibly. And those are some big-time players that you don't have on the defensive side of the ball. They are back for this game, though.
Myron is going to hand off to Blake Berry. Well, not much there for Berry, and a good form tackle by number 5, Connor Hannaran, the junior linebacker, getting in and getting low on Blake Berry. Not easy to do to go low on Berry. 1-yard gain for Berry, 2nd and 9, ball at the 45-yard line.
This Kimberly offense has really kind of progressed throughout the season, Brett, especially through the air. Seth Myron.
He's had a nice season at quarterback. And Myron, Barry's got it. Fooled me.
He did. Takes it to the 41, Brett. That's a 4-yard gain.
Not too difficult to fool me, even as I'm watching the game in the binocular. So, yeah, 3rd down coming up, ball at the 41-yard line. Well, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4.5, 3rd and 5, I guess, officially here. Ball at the 41-yard line. Myron waiting for the snap. He's got it. Handoff. Barry looking for something on that right side of the line. And
close.
Let's see. He does.
I think he got it. Takes it to the 35, Brett. Needed 5, got 6.
First down run for Blake Berry. And the first down of the game either side. So, yeah, 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Coming up. Good job by Berry, being patient, waiting for that blocking to set up in front of him, and just kind of doing a little bit of a stutter, right? Looking for an opening. And as you said, Ricardo, got 6 yards and a first down.
Ran all 3 times, did Kimberly, to get that first down as we have a timeout.
Yeah, Papermaker's going to burn an early timeout here.
See if I can take that timeout, Brett, to look at maybe some early scores. I mean, a lot of great games going on. The Appleton area had 18 teams, Brett, make the postseason. Some of them are playing each other. Let's see if I can find anything early. Beautiful night for football. I just cannot. Again, I don't know if we had a night like this in the first week.
Not a first week here, and it was October 21st tonight. That's crazy. We'll take it. We'll thank Mother Nature for it.
And next week already doesn't look too bad either.
No, in the 50s, we'll take that too.
Yeah, we will take that as well.
Yeah, we'll kind of run down some. De Pere Bayport's an interesting game in the FRCC. Rivals going at it in first round, of course. Brookfield East, Neenah. Appleton North and Chippewa Falls. The Lightning getting a 6 seed, having to travel 3 hours despite finishing 7-2 in the FBA. Look at this one. Blake Berry, far sideline, and he is in.
He is.
35-yard score by Blake Berry, turning on the Jets on that far sideline, Ricardo.
Woo, you talked about it. He found that rail off the right side, Brett, kicked it into that 5th gear, and just like that, Kimberly is up, Brett, on their first possession.
Going again on that right side. Boy, once he saw that opening, it just turned it and found another gear, and he was gone. In fact, I think it was an offensive lineman maybe raising his hand about 15 yards before Berry scored. He knew that Berry was in. First score of the night goes to the Papermakers. Hunter Berry, the kicker, looking to attempt the PAT, sails through. And with 9:19 remaining in this opening quarter, look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard. Kimberly with the early 7-0 lead.
I think if you're Coach Michaelwitz, you wanted the fast start, right? You got the 3 and out on defense, Brett, a couple of incompletions, and then to come first time you run 3, all runs actually on this 4-play drive, Brett, went 50 or 46 yards. So the good field position set up by the special teams leads to this touchdown.
Early momentum as well for the Papermakers.
Brett, we do have a halftime score. It looks like that Kaukauna-Rufus King game started at 5.
Okay.
Or at 6, I'm sorry. 35-0 Kaukauna over Rufus King. We kind of figured that, though.
Yeah.
See if I can find some other ones. West Appears up 7-0 over Holman.
Was Kaukauna a 6 seed going into that game?
Yes, but
boy.
We know that the champions of the Milwaukee City Conference, they're just not – the programs there are just not up to the level of the surrounding suburbs as well as the rest of the state. Sun Prairie's up 7-0, it looks like, as well. They're my pick, Brett, to win it in D2.
Sun Prairie East.
Sun Prairie East, yes.
Now two schools down in Sun Prairie. So Sun Prairie East, the traditional power that we remember, still called the Cardinals, of course. And speaking of the Cardinals, the Fond du Lac Cardinals now. We'll see if they have an answer after that touchdown drive by Kimberly, capped off with the 35-yard touchdown run by Blake Berry. Tyler Brandner, the return man here, and it looks like Fondy will get the ball at about the 29-yard line or so. Let's see where they officially mark it. We saw Fond du Lac, it looks like 28-yard line is where they'll spot. We streamed Fond du Lac, I think that was week 6 at Kaukauna. That was an entertaining game that wasn't decided till the Ghosts drilled a late field goal. I think that was a 30-28 Kaukauna win.
Santos? Is that the kid's
name?
Santos Sanchez.
Yeah, it was a pretty good kick.
It was.
And but we were impressed with Fond du Lac's offense, right? They've got obviously a fantastic quarterback, running game, good offensive line, receivers, so they can put up points in a hurry. And there's a little razzle-dazzle, but not fooling Kimberly. That was Dolsky with the run.
Well, they fooled me.
Sam Dudek, number 46, the junior linebacker, bringing down Dolsky on that.
I was watching Schreider on that carry there, Brett.
Second down ball at the 30, a 2-yard run for Dolsky, so 2nd and 8 coming up for Fond du Lac. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. I think, if memory serves, I thought we saw some tempo as well as Dolsky is at the direct snap, and he's trying to twist his way forward. And the pile moving back, but we'll see where forward progress. It looks like the 34-yard line. But as I remember, Fond du Lac ran some tempo, a little bit more up-tempo offense, and I like that. I like to see the line kind of, run quickly to the line of scrimmage, get set, and snap that ball quickly. Third down coming up, though, and another big spot. 3rd and 4, ball at the 34-yard line. Ricardo, it's a big play for Fondy, right? You don't want to go 2 3 and outs.
Well, we haven't seen the pass game connect yet, Brett.
There's a handoff. Eigenbrot, and it's going to be
Doucette.
maybe a yard shy.
Brett Doucette came up, and he put him backwards because that looked to be a first down run.
Yeah, but he's going to be a yard shy, maybe less than a yard, in decision time now for Sam Pluker. Do you go for it here at this spot of the field? Looks like Fondy, Ricardo, keeping its offense out on the field. And quickly under center, Schreider, little toss to Eigenbrot, and he got the first down. And a good run past the 45-yard line. So Sam Pluker trusting that offensive line and his running back to say, we need half a yard, we're going to get it. And they do a big 4th down conversion for 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. But still a little risky given the field position.
3 carries, 15 yards for Eigenbrot. But none more important than that last carry. 8 yards, for the first down.
35-0, Kaukauna up. As Schreider, and he's going to drop back, looking downfield, looking for a receiver.
Bracketed coverage
it
there,
was.
Brett.
Bradner, the intended target. Jack Stotts, number 3, the senior defensive back, one of the defenders back there, going stride for stride with Bradner. And I think the way Schreider threw it, maybe wanting Bradner to angle in a little bit more, but Stotts was there to block it.
So we got Schreider here 0 for 3 on his first 3 passes, Brett.
2nd and 10 for Fond du Lac at the 45-yard line. He'll get going. He's too good. Handoff to Eigenbrot. Big hole on that left side near the first down. He's going to be a little shy, but good job by that front along that left side of the line, giving Eigenbrot a little bit of a seam, and he's got some wheels, and he is one of those running backs that gets low and tough to bring down. He's a 5'10", 175-pound senior. 3rd and 1 now. Fondy in Kimberly territory. And again, quickly to the line of scrimmage. This time, it's going to be Dalsky, and there's a first down run. So good job by the Cardinals to answer here after that Kimberly touchdown.
5-yard gain for Dalsky, Brett. Gotta like what you see if you're a Cardinals fan here. The run game doing it in chunks. Three carries, 11 yards for Dalsky.
Dalsky again taking that direct snap and wrestling his way, lunging to about the 35-yard line. We'll see where they'll spot it, but right now that running game is doing some good stuff. And 2nd down, ball, I guess officially we'll say at the 36, Ricardo.
I'm just going to try to read off some of these scores as I get them. Pewaukee 7, Plymouth nothing. Brett, I picked Pewaukee to win the D3 title. McWanna go big over Milwaukee Hamilton. No surprise there. Reedsburg's up 7-3 over Notre Dame, Brett. Early.
2nd down here for Cardinals as Schreider, a little push pass to Dalsky, getting some space, and I think that's another first down. And it is. The sticks, the chain gain moving down the field. I think they'll spot it right at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. And look at how quickly they're getting this play in. Personnel in, Ricardo, moving fast. Such a varied offense, too, right?
It is.
How many different guys have already touched the football and made some plays?
And that offensive line is really starting to set tempo, Brett.
Eigenbrot looking for a space. Watch out. He's still on his feet. Far sideline. Still on his feet. And, whoa, big time hit. And there's a flag. I think that might be a horse collar tackle. Out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. What a run by Eigenbrot, and a penalty coming on top of that. So 1st and goal coming up for the Cardinals.
19-yard run by Eigenbrot.
They'll spot that ball right at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal. Yep, horse collar tackle against Kimberly. So 1st and goal at the 5-yard line for Fond du Lac, which, like Kimberly in its scoring drive, right, this has been all on the ground. Well, now I take that little push pass to Dolsky the previous play. So a good answer by Fond du Lac after Kimberly put one on the scoreboard first on that 35-yard touchdown run by Blake Berry.
Wisconsin Rapids up 7-0 over Wausau West.
It's a Valley Football Association matchup. That's two good teams in the VFA as well. Direct snap to Dolsky, trying to twist his way in to about the 3-yard line, it looks like, for Dolsky. But again, a tough offense, Ricardo. Who do you key in on to slow down, right?
I felt, they're 5-4 this year, but I felt this was more of like a 7-2 team. Fondi kind of, they had a couple losses there, Brett, where I think were close, and they could have maybe come out on the other end, on the winning end.
Well, Kakana being one of them.
Right, and this isn't no 6th seed, in my opinion.
Ball officially at the 4-yard line, so 2nd and goal at the 4. And what do we have here? Timeout for the Cardinals.
Union Grove up 7-0 over Brookfield Central. That's a little bit of a surprise.
Timeout gives me an opportunity to tell everybody, get in on that deal, that digital subscription deal, folks. Post Crescent, FDL, Fond du Lac Reporter. Actually, all of our USA Today Network Wisconsin sites. For the next 6 months, you get all the benefits included with a digital subscription for just $1. 6 months, $1. That includes full access on your desktop, tablet, mobile devices every day, exclusive subscriber newsletters, full access to national reporting with the USA Today Sports Plus app. The e-edition is included in that as well. Again, go to postcrescent.com/subscribe or FDLreporter.com/subscribe. $1 for 6 months. You can't go wrong with that.
Xavier up 3-0 over Wrightstown.
That's a good game in the NEC, of course. Or I checked that crossover game, but two teams that are used to playing each other. High snap. Dolsky looking for it. Nope, nothing there. Brought down hard by number 2, Ty Lawton. Ricardo, the senior defensive back, setting that edge. Wouldn't let Dolsky get on the outside. And
what are they marking that? Is that a no gain?
That's a no gain. So, check that. Ball's going to be at the 3-yard line. So, 3rd and goal at the 3. But good job by Lawton to make sure that Dolsky couldn't bounce it outside. And finishing up with the tackle. So, 3rd down coming up.
West Appear up 14-0, Brett.
No surprise, right? The Phantoms not pleased with their seed.
Nina up 7-0 over Brookfield East.
Okay, that's something that the folks here are interested. Winner of this one takes on the winner of that one. 3rd down, Schreider going to slide a little rainbow, and it is, no, he dropped it.
Oh, boy.
He dropped it. That was Ethan Wagner-Lang, couldn't bring it in. Ty Lawton on coverage, and now a decision for Sam Pluker and the Cardinals. 4th and goal at the 3.
Brett, that was so wide open. And I'm sure Wagner-Lang is kind of patting his helmet a little bit, saying, I had that.
He had it, but Lawton getting his hands in there and knocking it away as Wagner-Lane coming down. Of course, Ethan Wagner-Lane, a talented, really good wide receiver. So many good wide receivers both sides in this game. So 4th down now.
Berlin up 7-0 over Denmark, Brett.
That's interesting. Yeah, think about that. Xavier, Wrightstown in the NEC. Looks like Fondy now wants to call another timeout. And, of course, Xavier in the Bay. Xavier with a 5-game winning streak.
De Pere.
That's against Bayport, right?
De Pere's up 7-0 over Bayport.
That's a tricky game because De Pere's playing much better football right now. And those are rivals, good rivals in the FRCC North. Could you believe that? If Bayport goes down, the top-ranked team, one of, 2 unbeatens left in the Division I field, the other being Wanakee now moving up to D1.
Again, that Reedsburg score 7-3 now over Notre Dame. Again, a lot of great playoff scores. If you can, send them to me, I'd appreciate it. I'll pass them along to everyone. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at Peace. Oh, I almost did it again, Brett.
You almost did it.
At Ricardo DeLeon. DeLeon is spelled D-E-L-I-A-N. When will I learn, Brett?
You'll get it.
Some year.
All right, so 4th and goal. Ball at the 3-yard line.
Are you a little surprised here, Brett? that this is going to be an offensive play and not a field goal.
Yeah, I thought they would kick the field goal, but Sam Pluker rolling the dice again. He converted on 1 4th down earlier in this drive. Can Steven Schreider do it again? Dalsky going in motion and a little play fake. Watch
Look out! Oh,
Whoa,
boy.
and it is incomplete.
Wow,
Who got the hit?
Set.
Was that Ethan Doucette, number 4, coming in on the blitz? The senior linebacker, Ricardo, one of the top defensive players in the Fox Valley Association, came in there like a rocket and hit Schreider just as he was getting ready to throw, and the throw just had no chance in the back corner of that end zone.
Yeah, timing play, Brett, but you got to give your quarterback some time and let the route develop. But, man, what a play by Doucette. I want to say it was Doucette.
Yeah, I was watching, again, through my binoculars, watching the ball kind of float in the back of the end zone, trying to get a number on the intended receiver. Couldn't see it, but, yeah, all of a sudden you see number 4 streaking in there. He's done that all season long, so here you go. 1st and 10 now for Kimberly. At its own 3 is Myron dropping back. He's going to rainbow one downfield.
There's miscommunication on the route. Yeah, Brett, because he threw it deep, but Kreider was not going deep. Just a little mix-up on the route. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, 10 guarding 10, right? Rocky Duran, one of the captains for Fond du Lac, a 6'1 junior defensive back, going stride for stride with Kimberly's number 10, the senior Ethan Kreider. So 2nd down and 10 coming up for Kimberly. Hand off to Blake Berry, looking for something, and a nice tackle by number 5. Again, Corbin Hanrahan, the junior linebacker, and a big 3rd down play coming up. Boy, can this Fond du Lac defense come up with a big stop and get the stop, force a punt, because look at the field position Fondy will have if they can get a 3 and out. Third and 7 for Kimberly here late in the first quarter at Papermaker Stadium. First round game in the Division I playoffs. As Myron, a little toss to Barry, who cuts it back inside, and I think he got it. Wow. Pretty good effort by number 9, Halden Krieger, the junior linebacker, one of the best linebackers in the league. But nice little cutback inside for Blake Berry, and that's a big first down. Looked like he wanted to go outside, but kind of planted that left foot, cut it back inside, saw the seam, and got enough for the first down.
And
1st and 10.
He won the collision there. I mean, that's why you lift all those weights, Brett, on those instances like that to win mano-a-mano.
Ball at the 17-yard line, so first down for Seth Myron and the Papermakers. Up 7-0 here in the first quarter. And already Blake Berry having a big game, and he's got another hole inside and wrestled down by Krieger, but that's about an 8 or a 9-yard gain for Berry, and that running attack for Kimberly looking good so far here in this opening quarter, Ricardo.
He's running angry, Brett. He has 7 carries for 68 yards, does Blake Berry.
Ball at the 25-yard line, 2nd down and 2 to go. Myron waiting for the snap. Berry getting the handoff again. Again, cutting it back inside. It almost looks like the same play, Ricardo.
He likes what he sees in the inside as that develops. Takes it to the 31, Brett. That's a 6-yard carry again for Blake Berry.
Yeah, always kind of looking like he wants to veer it to the left, but then sees that opening, and a good job by that front to find a seam for Berry, and another first down ball at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Berry, of course, with a 35-yard touchdown run. That came with 9:19 to go here in this opening quarter. And the Papermakers methodically on the march again, as there's a play fake, and Myron slings it over. That's a catch to number 8,
nice
Jackson
move.
Garbish, with a nice little spin move, and that might be the final play of this opening quarter, unless Kimberly wants to quickly run one more. I don't know if they're in too much of a hurry. Ball's going to be at the 35-yard line, 2nd and 5.
No score between Winneconne and Little Chute, Brett, after the end of one quarter.
Really? That's interesting, huh? And all zeros indicate the end of the first quarter. So as we look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard, Kimberly with the 7-0 lead through the opening quarter. I'm Brett Christopherson with USA Today Network Wisconsin, and hanging out with me as always is Ricardo Arguello, fellow stream teamer, and in the other booth is Jim Rosandick, manning the high-definition cameras. We call him Rosie. Got to thank Ryan McGinnis, the athletic director here at Kimberly High School. I had a nice chat with Ryan earlier today, but thanks to him and his crew for making sure we had a good place here in the press box. We appreciate him and his staff for always making sure we're taken care of. Thank you, Ryan and crew. Appreciate that. Boy, that Little Shoe Winnicott now. Little Shoe won. They beat the Wolves 30-0 in week 1.
Well, that was, that's eons ago in football.
It is, right?
Time,
yeah.
Right?
Still, though, Little Shoot playing some very good football. Actually, I was just thinking about that. Little Shoot, for those that might be watching that don't know, just right on the other side of the Fox River, Kimberly and Little Shoot neighboring villages. Some pretty good football here in this part, with Kimberly being 8-1, Little Shoot being 9-0.
Shiocton leading 14-0 over Lords. One of my picks to reach the state semifinals in T7, Brett. You think I went on a limb there? Come on, you can tell me.
Yeah, you always go out on a limb, right?
Menasha's up 14-0.
No surprise
First
there.
Quarter.
Nothing on Appleton North, Chippewa Falls?
No, I've been looking. I looked at Appleton North's Twitter account, did not find anything.
Waiting for the second quarter to kick off here. 2nd and 5 is what Kimberly is facing to open the quarter. Looks like maybe an equipment issue. Ben Youngworth, number 74, the senior offensive lineman, heading off the field. I don't know if he's got a helmet issue or what, but here we go. First play of the second quarter against 2nd and 5 for the Papermakers. Up 7-0. Another handoff to Blake Berry. Nice little step inside. A good hard tackle, though, by number 5, Hanrahan. Said his name a few times. 6'1", 200-pound junior linebacker. 3rd and, well, let's see, ball at the, 39? So 3rd and 1 coming up. 3rd and 1 coming up for Kimberly as Youngworth now checks back in. Been all kind of the Blake Berry show, hasn't it?
Oh, when you got your bell cow, you got to use them.
And Myron, there's another handoff as Berry looking. I think
ooh.
he just got enough.
Yeah, I think so.
Just got enough, but boy, that hole closed fast. See again, number 9, Halden Krieger, getting in on that stop as well, but Berry gets just enough, gets it to the 41-yard line, so 1st and 10 for the Papermakers. Keep moving the chains. But Ricardo, this drive started, the 3-4-yard line? Slow,
where
methodical
did it start?
march.
Yeah, you're right. 3-yard line, Brett.
Kimberly taking its time and doing a great job right now of controlling the clock here on this march. As Myron waiting for it again, and it's a play fake. Myron's got all the time in the world. He's got him wide open. That's Kreider, and he is trying to spin his way in. Instead, down about the 5 or 4 yard line. Ricardo Kreider getting wide open behind that defense, but a good play fake, and that's where the running game, right, sets up the pass play, and Myron had all day long to throw. Down at the 5 yard line is where Kreider ends up. 1st and goal at the 5 for Kimberly.
Brett, 54-yard hookup on that pass play.
And now Blake Berry in the Wildcat looking for the direct snap here. And he's got it. He's taken off, trying to twist his way inside, but down about the 3 yard line, maybe 4. Let's see where they spot it. A chance here to cap a 97-yard touchdown drive if the Papermakers can punch it in. 2nd and goal at the 4. So a 1-yard gain for Berry, who looks like he's going to take it again or line up in that Wildcat, Ricardo, looking for the direct snap. Whole lot of big boys up front for Kimberly. And Berry again. Oh, little pop. Oh! Little pop pass attempt.
He was going for Coronado there, Brett, but incomplete pass.
Yeah. Ricardo, the junior, number 88, Abe Coronado. It looked like a little miscommunication.
In the second quarter, 7:31 left. Brookfield East 7, Nina 7.
Oh boy, here we go, right?
Thank you to Gary Berlowski for that update. Appreciate everyone getting us updates. We're trying to get as many as we can. Obviously, when you're dealing with the playoffs, everyone wants to know the scores, who's winning, who's getting the upsets. Send them along to us.
3rd and goal from the 4 is what Seth Myron and the Papermakers are facing as he awaits the snap. He's got it. Drop back, looking, and a nice little play. Yep, and no, Kriego! I think he got in. Is that Isaac Decken with the 4-yard score? I thought Krieger was going to stop him, Ricardo, but Decken, a strong senior fullback, 5'10", 222 pounds, using that strength to kind of physical his way into the end zone on a 4-yard score.
You said it, Brett, strength. And what do we know about Kimberly? They have a heck of a weight and training program. That's why you do all those squats, why you do all those deadlifts, Brett, for that exact moment.
And that finishes off a 97-yard touchdown drive. Hunter Berry on for the PAT. And that one sails through as well. And with 9:21 to go in the second quarter, Kimberly now up 14-0 over Fond du Lac as we take a peek at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard. I don't know how many plays you had there.
I'll count them up right after I update the Twitter.
Wow. Of course, that 54-yard hookup, right? Was that 54 yards from Myron to Kreider? The highlight of that drive. So you think about the sequence there, right? Fond du Lac had 1st and goal, couldn't get it in. Kimberly comes up with a stop, takes over on downs on its own 3-yard line, and 97 yards later, celebrating a touchdown. Myron to Decken on a 4-yard hookup, 14-0 the score for the Papermakers.
12 plays, 97 yards, Brett.
Okay, so 12-play, 97-yard drive. That's awfully impressive at any level, let alone high school. And now Fond du Lac, a bit of an uphill climb. Here's a bouncing kickoff, and that is number 44 for the Cardinals, Max Mengel, the junior. And let's see if Fond du Lac can answer. Down 2 scores, 14-0, Kimberly with the lead. By the way, the all-time series, Kimberly leads 18-14. So a good rivalry going back quite a ways.
Brett, how about this for the Valley Football Association? Marshfield up 14-0 over Pulaski. I thought that was a potential upset, but Marshfield doing the job against Pulaski.
Interesting. You
That's
never
the
know.
End of first quarter.
Ricardo, first round games always kind of give you some eyebrow raisers, don't they? As Eigenbrot trying to spin his way forward, gets about 4 or 5 yards on that run.
Now, if you're Fond du Lac, there's no need to panic here. I mean, you have plenty of time. Get some points on this drive. They've been able to move the ball, Brett. Just got to finish. They took it all the way down to that 3-yard line on their previous drive. Just got to finish it in the end zone.
Hand up. Nope. Schreider, he's going to go over the middle and just, again, bracket coverage, Ricardo. That's intended for Dalsky.
Yeah, I think Kimberly's defense, Brett, you got to give them credit. They have those pass plays under wrapped.
Yeah, you got number 20, Cody Oberman, a junior defensive back, and also number 22, Thomas Myers, a fellow junior defensive back there, making sure Tanner Dalsky not open over the middle for Schreider to connect with. So 3rd down and 5, ball at the 44-yard line for Fondy. Ricardo, this is a huge play. As Schreider, a little play fake, slings it over, and
Lawton.
I'm not sure if Lawton got a hand on that. He was right on Ethan Wagner-Lang. I think maybe that pass just maybe a little bit too much mustard on that, a little bit too much heat on that fastball. Not sure if Wagner-Lang was quite ready for it in front of that Fond du Lac sideline, but fourth down coming, and there's a 3-and-out. Fondy has to punt.
Brett, also we have an update. Wisconsin Rapids 14, Wausau West 7. Our own Mike Sherry is covering that one way up there in Wausau. That's an interesting one coming out of the Valley Football Association. Early round matchup between the two conference, favorites, or would you call them contenders? I think they all shared a title in that Valley Football Association.
Lawton now with it and brought down quickly. Number 24 with a nice tackle for the Cardinals. Brody Schneider. Got a tweet from Benjamin Rick. He says DC Everest 2, Hudson 0.
Whoa!
In the second
Thank
quarter.
you, Benjamin, for that.
It's an interesting score.
Yeah, 2-run home run.
Yeah, Appleton North at Chippewa Falls. If the Lightning wins that game, we figure they might be heading over to Hudson. That's a lot of travel for a team that finishes 7-2 in the Fox Valley Association.
Let's not get into this now, Brett. You can listen to our podcast to hear us complaining about everything.
Yeah, not complaining, just questioning some of the seeds. Very interesting, to say the least. First down and 10 from the 36 for Myron and the Papermakers. And again, a little play fake. Wide open. It's Decken, and he might be off to the races. Will anybody catch him? No way. He's in. 64 yards, Ricardo. A 64-yard score. Wow.
Again, that is a breakdown on defense. No way is Decken supposed to be that wide open, Brett. But give Kimberly credit. They're in this game of chess, Brett, they are just really taking advantage of Fond du Lac.
Ricardo, I said it before, though, again, the run game and how effective that's been, how effective Blake Berry has been. The defense has to honor that, and they're freezing a little bit on those play fakes. And how about Deckent there? Isaac Deckent, the senior, 5'10", 222 pounds, as I said, showing off the wheels once he got it. And Hunter Berry, that one sails through again. How about this? 8:13 to go in the opening quarter. A commanding 21-0 lead for the Papermakers as we look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard.
You know who's really happy and smiling ear to ear?
Who's that?
His older sister, Shay.
Is she watching?
Well, I'm thinking she must be. I don't think they've started their season yet in college, right?
Nina up 14-7. Thanks to our friend Michael Graber for that. How about the end of three? Kaukauna still up 35-0. And Ricardo, the previous drive, you said no time to panic. There's a little bit of a panic time now for Fond du Lac.
Now maybe a little, because their defense now has shown that they really cannot slow down Kimberly either on the ground or through the air.
2 touchdown passes to the fullback, Isaac Decken, with a pair of scores, 4-yarder and a 64-yarder. Blake Berry also with a 35-yard touchdown run. Wonder if there's maybe a little bit of a shell shock over there for the Cardinals, perhaps.
Yeah, this is tough to be behind a team of Kimberly's caliber by 3 touchdowns. It's a big mountain to climb here, Brett.
Bradner looking for something along that far sideline. Pretty good field position again. And yeah, now's the time for that Fond du Lac offense to put one in. Like you said, they had a chance, right? 1st and goal. Couldn't get it in. Kimberly gets the stop, turnover on downs, and then a 97-yard touchdown drive, which ends with the Isaac Decken touchdown reception from 4 yards out. 3 and out quickly. Kimberly gets the ball back, and just, in the blink of an eye, there's Decken racing in from 64 yards out, and like a quick 2-touchdown sequence already, Kimberly with a 3-score lead. 1st and 10 for Fond du Lac on its own 37-yard line. And there's a handoff to Braden Eigenbrot, and not a whole lot there. I don't think he got anything. Looks like it's 2nd and 10 coming up.
Got some scores here. Thank you, Southside Rob, helping us out here. Hey, Brett. So we got Lake Geneva Badger and Oak Creek tied at 7. Franklin leading 18-0 over Racine Horlick. Oak Creek leading now Lake Geneva Badger 14-7. Thank you for all those. We'll take all scores because obviously everyone's interested in around the state and who's doing what, because if your team goes far enough, you're going to be playing different parts of the state, Brett.
Absolutely. Every game is really a game of statewide interest. No gain on that. 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals. Is Schreider going to sling it? And he's got Wagner laying. No, he dropped it. Trying to make a play, Ricardo. He's a good receiver. He's one of the better ones in this conference, and maybe just taking his eye off of it. And you're right. You start to press a little bit. You're down 3 scores. You want to make a play, and maybe moving a little bit too fast before he secured the football.
Yeah,
so 3rd and 10 now.
At this point, every mistake, every drop ball is magnified.
3rd and 10 from the 37-yard line. Let's see what Steven Schreider can pull off here on 3rd and 10. Watch out, blitz coming. He's down. They sent a whole bunch of Papermakers, and I think Connor Schiesel, number 34, the senior linebacker, one of the first ones in. 4th down coming as Schreider is dropped on the sack. Wow.
You know, I know Kimberly was a little upset with themselves, Brad, after losing 31-21 down in Fond du Lac. They felt they didn't play a good game. They were missing some key components. Boy, have they really come through tonight, though, huh?
They look awfully tough as there's a nice punt by Eigenbrot, fielded by Ty Lawton, and about the 43, 44-yard line. Yeah, kind of looking at some recent games, though, right? They've hooked these two teams some memorable games in recent seasons. Who can forget that 2021 spring season, the alternate spring season when Fond du Lac won 71-47 in a Fox Valley Classic Conference finale? Remember that one? Fondy's Kyle Waljasper and Braylon Allen, they ran wild. 9 touchdowns combined for both of them. Fond du Lac, 606 yards of rushing offense against the Papermakers that night. Allen had scoring runs of 66, 33, 47, and 48 yards. Waljasper, 55, 54, 44, and 44, and 50 yards. The two teams, 1,328 yards of offense that night in a game we streamed. That was at Pickett Field at Appleton East. Myron fires over. That's Garbish, and near the first down. He'll be about a yard shy. How about back in 2019, Kimberly winning that one 34-31 in overtime. That was week 3. The Papermakers won on Caleb Frazier's 6-yard touchdown run. That was an overtime win. Game ended 28-28 tie in regulation. Fondy took a 31-28 lead in overtime and a 22-yard field goal. And then Frazier's run secured the victory for Kimberly. We've got to talk about a couple of those 2018 games. And I'll do that here in a second on 2nd down and a couple as Blake Berry looking for something, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Real quick, Campbellsport 14, Sheboygan Falls 14 in the second quarter.
Ricardo, remember those 2018 games. Fond du Lac beat Kimberly here in the opener, a 26-yard field goal as time expired to snap Kimberly's 70-game winning streak. Remember that one? Also snapped the Cardinals' 11-game losing streak to the Papermakers. And then Kimberly returned the favor in a state semifinal on a 2-point conversion pass in overtime. As Berry dives forward for the first down, past the 44 down to about the Fond du Lac 43-yard line. That was a game we streamed at Titan Stadium, Ricardo, as you remember that one. That game ended in a 14-14 tie. Fondy opened the overtime with a touchdown run by Evan Sauer. Papermakers answered with a touchdown run by Will Fisher. Then Kimberly opted to go for the 2-point conversion. Cody Starkle to Mitch Bartle. Remember that? A little pop pass. That sent Kimberly to the state championship game for a 6th straight season. Back in 2017, DJ Stewart had a 52-yard touchdown run with 6:02 remaining to snap a 21-21 tie. Kimberly winning that one 28-21 in the Division I state quarterfinal. Just up and down. So many great memorable matchups as Myron going downfield and caught. Oh,
Decking again. Oh, my.
Oh, he did bring it down.
What a night he's having.
Ricardo, he had to make a big-time adjustment on that. I don't know how he caught it. I thought I saw the ball slip. It didn't. He brought it in. Ball's going to be at the 20-yard line. Neenah now a commanding 21-7 lead. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Bayport now leading De Pere 14-7.
Kimberly beat Fondy 35-28 week 1 of 2017. Again, a one-score game. Myron hands off to Barry left side. Watch out, and he is in base, practically untouched from 20 yards out. His second rushing touchdown of the night, and the Papermakers opening up a commanding 4-touchdown lead over the Cardinals. Hunter Berry splits the uprights as he's done on the 3 previous touchdowns, and with 4:03 remaining now in the second quarter, take a look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard. Ricardo, Kimberly up 28-0 over Fond du Lac. Was not expecting this at all.
We could have a running clock in the second half. That is shocking. No one thought that. Remember, folks, Fond du Lac beat Kimberly earlier this year.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, 31-21.
We expected a pretty good game, which would kind of fall in line with some of these games that I'm reading in the series in previous seasons. 2016, Kimberly won 32-29 in the state quarterfinal. Papermakers won on Danny Vandenboom's 16-yard touchdown pass to Tyler Verstegen with 1:14 remaining. Kimberly also beat Fondy 41-15 in the state quarterfinal in 2014, so some playoff matchups mixed in that recent series, but no stranger to great games, and right now only a great game if you are a fan of the Papermakers, up 4 scores, not so much for the Cardinals.
All right, Neenah leads Brookfield East 21-7, 2:30 left in the second quarter. Berlin's up 27 over Denmark. I thought maybe Denmark would give them a little bit more of a game
Berlin,
there.
good team, coached by Joe Stelmacher, the former Badger.
Great ground game they got.
I think his dad was a longtime AD and coach as well, yeah. Stelmacher named very big in Berlin.
Well, let me tell you something, Brett. Fondy has to score on this drive. If they harbor any kind of hope to stay in this game, and this doesn't help with the hold on the kick return. But Brett, now it's real panic time.
Yeah, I would say with a capital P, right? Because what you don't want to do, and there's plenty of time, go 3 and out again, and next thing you know, Kimberly's putting another one on the end zone, and you could open the second half with a running clock.
They got to be shell-shocked over there, Brett. How couldn't you be?
Thanks to Roger Dodge, Kaukauna up 41-6 over Milwaukee King. And no surprise, we both think the Ghosts can make a nice run in Division II, do we not, Ricardo? I know
Absolutely.
You have Kaukauna going pretty far.
State semifinals, I have them going in my predictions column.
First down run, and pretty good trickery there. Tanner Dalsky, number 0, with it. Second down, and about 7 coming up for the Cardinals. As I mentioned, Fond du Lac has not won or lost back-to-back games this season, so kind of a herky-jerky season is Dalsky plunging forward, and he's going to be shy by about a couple yards of the first down marker, so third down coming up.
Who ran that one, Brett? I missed that.
Dalsky, number 0, yep. Ball at the 26-yard line for Fond du Lac. Got to get to that 28-yard line. And I was trying to see who's got it. Is that Eigenbrot with it? And he's going to be about a yard shy, Ricardo, fourth down. And if you're Sam Pluker, well, you got to punt it away, don't you?
I don't know. You're down 4 scores. By the way, we did hear from Shay Decken. Hey, Shay. She says Isaac can't be stopped. Older sister. Heck of a basketball player. Remember, Brett?
Oh, absolutely.
For Kimberly.
Hope you're doing well, Shay. Thanks for checking in tonight. Well, Ricardo, they are going for it. 4th down. I guess you have to.
I
down
think you
4
have
scores,
to.
but what if Kimberly gets a stop? Look at this field position.
And it goes up 35-0, and this game is, in a sense, over. So this is the game, I guess you could say, Brett.
Under center, is that, nope, check that. That's a direct snap to Dalsky, who plunges forward. And I guess if you're Sam Pluke, you're thinking we got to do something. We can't give Kimberly the football because right now we haven't stopped them offensively. So Dalsky dives for that 1st down. Ball will be at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Now Schreider back out there at quarterback. And he'll fire it over to Dalsky, looking to make some moves in the open field. Fondy with just 1 timeout remaining as the clock stops to reset the chains.
Ball's at the 45, so a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, and quickly to the line of scrimmage are the Cardinals trying to move fast and make something happen here to close out the first half as Schreider has got a great arm, and nice throw and catch. That is Ethan Wagner-Lang on the reception. One of the captains, a 6'5" senior wideout.
Takes it to, what, the 37, it looks like?
It is, yeah.
18-yard gain on that pass play.
And Schreider back to Wagner-Lang, leads him forward. Nice job, Wagner-Lang, looking to make some Papermakers missed. He's stopped in bounds, so Fondy quickly to the line as the clock continues to run here in the closing moments of the second quarter. Ball at the 29-yard line. 2nd down for the Cardinals. Handoff to Eigenbrot. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 25, and clock will stop again. They'll spot it at the 24-yard line. Chains reset. And clock running again, under a minute to play. Schreider looking to his left right away. Going to rainbow one, looking for his man. Beautiful catch.
Yeah, he got it.
Right at the goal line is Tanner Dalsky with a beautiful catch. And looking good now for the Cardinals to maybe punch in a much-needed score here before the half. Officially at the 1-yard line. What a throw, what a catch. Schreider to Dalsky, handoff to Eigenbrot. Is he in?
Yeah, no.
He is stopped short of the goal line, and wondering if Fondy's going to want to call its final timeout. The Cardinals do. To talk this one over, obviously down 28-0. Fond du Lac needs this touchdown in the worst way possible.
Halftime, Xavier 3, Wrightstown nothing, Brett. And, Brett, update from Little Chute, Winneconne, 21-0 Mustangs. Drew Joten, 3 touchdowns already tonight. And he likes bothering
he does.
The Luxembourg Casco girls volleyball team, apparently.
I think he was thinking that they got into their heads, right, the student section. But was that Autumn Flynn? She's like, no, they didn't bother us too much.
That was on our roundtable, which featured Luxembourg Casco. Only interactive high school sports show around, Brett. But West De Pere leading Holman 35-7.
Now you're starting to see a little separation, right?
Yeah.
2nd and goal out of this timeout for the Cardinals. Ball at the 1-yard line. Schreider under center. He's just going to try to keep it. Trying to get in. Is he in? Let's see. And he is. Schreider with the 1-yard score. And a much-needed and huge touchdown for the Cardinals, Ricardo. So a very, very nice touchdown drive put together by Fond du Lac. And Ricardo, I think they're going to go for, are they going for 2? They are. So Schreider looking for the 2-point conversion. A little pass knocked away by Lawton. That was intended for Wagner-Lang. And that pass falls incomplete, knocked down by Lawton. So as we look at our Cellcom, our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard, 28-6 now. Kimberly with the lead after that 1-yard touchdown run by Fond du Lac quarterback Steven Schreider. Stick with us, folks. A lot to talk about at halftime. A whole bunch of stuff coming up. Kaukauna with the victory. 35-19, Ricardo, according to Chicken Nugget, whoever that is. Thank you, Chicken.
Wait, what was 35-19?
That's what was tweeted to me was the final for that Kaukauna game.
Oh, okay.
That's according to somebody named Chicken Nugget.
Okay.
Why don't you just put your real name on Twitter? Come on,
love
Chicken.
It. Berlin's up now 27-7 over Denmark. Xavier, by the way, is at the half.
They're up. Xavier's leading, you said?
Yeah, Xavier is also leading.
But that was like 3-zip, right?
Yes, but Twombly, I guess, is back in the second quarter. I guess he was missing the last couple of weeks with an ankle injury. Xavier has 223 total yards. Wrightstown 146. That's from our buddy Dan Cohn.
Is he covering that game?
He is.
That's a lot of yards for just 3 points, isn't it?
It
both
is.
sides of the football.
You're not going to beat Wrightstown not scoring touchdowns.
That's at Wrightstown, not too far from here. And Fond du Lac with the kickoff, and that is fielded by number 3, Jack Stotts, looking for a lane, and he's still on his feet, far sideline, and finally down at about the 45-yard line. And Ricardo, 12 seconds to go with 2 timeouts.
You got nice receivers. You got a big arm from Myron. Why not take a shot or two? But for those routes to develop, Brett, takes time, so you might only get 1 shot.
Well, you got 2 timeouts, so you can still play the middle of the field on a deep ball. We'll see what Chad Michaelwitz, the first-year coach here at Kimberly, wants to do. Ball at the 44-yard line. Myron waiting for the snap. You got plenty of time. He can rainbow one if he wants to, and he's just going to tuck it in, and he's off and running. A little slide.
Right to the 50.
And with 3 seconds to go, Kimberly will burn its second timeout to set up one final play here in this first half. 21-7, Neenah with that halftime lead over Brookfield East. So, again, the winner of this game takes on the winner of that game. We'll be somewhere next week too. We just don't know where yet, Ricardo.
You'll figure it all out, Brett, later tonight.
We will figure it all out maybe by the end of the game. We'll see how it all looks.
You think you'd take a shot deep here, BC?
Why not? Nope, they're going to take a knee. Going to play it safe, right? And Myron takes a knee to close out the first half. I guess the thinking there, Ricardo, is try to hit one into the end zone, or a little Hail Mary, and it can be picked off and returned, and all of a sudden Fond du Lac could have a whole bunch of momentum. Instead, Kimberly's saying, let's just take a 28-6 halftime lead and get ready for the second half. I believe Kimberly starts the second half with the football, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, because Fond du Lac started with a 3-and-out.
Right. So, well, anyways, halftime here at Papermaker Stadium. A quick look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard shows the Papermakers leading the Cardinals 28-6 in this WIAA Division I first-round playoff game. Of course, we'll talk more about tonight's game and what we have coming up digitally at USA Today Network Wisconsin after this short break.
From the top of the 222 building on College Avenue in downtown Appleton, it's Varsity Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricardo Arguello.
Live from a secret location somewhere in northeast Wisconsin, it's Clubhouse Live. We'll look back on how the Packers fared, we'll talk football, we'll take a peek at what's next on the schedule, and we'll have our usual fun too. We're ready. Are you ready? It's time to get started. Let's open the doors and welcome to Clubhouse Live! Live from a secret location somewhere in northeast Wisconsin, it's Clubhouse Live. We'll look back on how the Packers fared, we'll talk football, we'll take a peek at what's next on the schedule, and we'll have our usual fun too. We're ready. Are you ready? It's time to get started. Let's open the doors and welcome to Clubhouse Live!
Welcome back to Papermaker Stadium here in Kimberly, Wisconsin, site of tonight's WIAA Division I first round playoff game between the Papermakers and the Cardinals. And again, as you take a look at our Unison Credit Union Cellcom scoreboard, Kimberly with a big first half, up 28-6. Once again, thank you to our playoff sponsor, Unison Credit Union. Unison proudly provides the people and businesses of Northeast Wisconsin with exceptional banking services and trusted financial guidance delivered by friendly experts. Also, thank you to our season sponsor, Cellcom. Save 50% on select smartphones. Get $200 off smartwatches as well with a smartphone purchase. New flex agreement and monthly service required. Visit cellcom.com/fall for details. And finally, thank you to our apparel sponsor as well, Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Contact them today at 920-731-0922 or send them an email, Cooney's, COONEYS 0922 at sbcglobal.net. Ricardo, before we get to some scores, I want to give a plug to the USA Today Sports Plus. That's the new sports app that puts the fans first. Get the latest scores, stats, and standings, and enjoy interactive experiences with our award-winning sports writers. Download USA Today Sports Plus from the Apple or Google Play stores today. USA Today Sports Plus, fan harder. I know you're itching to tell me some of those first-round scores that are coming in on your smartphone there.
The one that sticks out is right away is Appleton North up 3-0 over Chippewa Falls. 48-yard field goal from Caden Pope.
That's it right now, huh?
Right? Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, that's a long field goal. We talked about Appleton North. They're
It's a
not going to
long
allow
trip.
any. They're not going to allow any points.
No, but that's a long trip, right?
Maybe they are going to win 3-0. I don't know.
A long trip out to Chippewa
It
Falls,
is.
a 3-hour ride, and
DC Everest is up 9-0 over Hudson.
that's a surprise to me. Everest going over to Hudson. Hudson Ricardo at 2 seed. The Evergreens a 3 seed. So Appleton
Maybe
North.
we shouldn't be dinging up on the Valley Football Association, huh, Brett?
Maybe Appleton North, if the Lightning can hold on, instead of having a 4-hour trip to Hudson, maybe a little bit more of a manageable trip to DC Everest.
Brett Littleshoot now up over Winnicott 28-0. Drew
Wow.
Joten, 4 touchdowns on the night. So big night for Drew. Campbell Sports up 35-14 over Sheboygan Falls. They're coming in a little bit better here. Oh, no surprise here. Onalaska big over Ashland, 48-0. Halftime, Neenah 21,
Yep.
Brookfield East 7. You got that
Just
one,
going
right?
to say that one, yeah.
And then halftime, Bayport 14-7 over De Pere.
That's a battle, isn't it? Again, the Redbirds under, is it Ben Strickland now, the new head coach, taking over for Chad Michaelwitz, who's now here at Kimberly. And the Redbirds kind of had to do some maneuvering. Remember, we streamed their first week game against Neenah. Neenah really took it to them, but of course the big story from that game was De Pere's quarterback, the sensational Gabe Herman, one of your Elite 11 players, knocked out, I think, for the season, right? I don't think he's been back.
I think he came back, but I thought he came back one game, but had to leave again.
Okay.
So I have to talk to Scott Vency about that.
Yeah, so anyway, but De Pere really had to fight to get its way back into playoff contention, and they're playing much better football, the Redbirds. And, it's always, like I asked you in the podcast, the R&B show, what would you prefer if you're a team? Do you like playing a conference foe in the first round, second round, or do you want to play somebody that you haven't seen? Maybe in this case for De Pere, we know what we have against Bayport. We know that we can beat them because they did last year to win the FRCC North title. So maybe in that case, familiarity is a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, real quick, one more score. Wausau West 14, Wisconsin Rapids 14. Brett, we saw, real quick, again, we saw Steve Jones, former Kimberly head coach here in the press box, said hi to him. And Brett, he talked about our podcast. He's listening to our podcast.
Well, there you go.
And if you haven't, please check it out. It's taped every Wednesday, released on Thursday. Go on Google, Stitcher Play, iTunes. It's there. Look for the R&B show. Look for my name, Ricardo Arguello. You should find it real quick. Subscribe. You'll get it, sent over to your phone right away every time it's uploaded. And Brett, we talked about the football. We went division by division, looked at the top seeds, and looked at area matchups concerning the Valley teams. And I gave my predictions, and you guys kind of maybe gave me thoughts on each one of those picks. And we felt pretty good about most. I think you guys felt pretty good about most of my picks. Division 1, though, was crazy. We kind of felt there was a number of teams that could be competing for a possible state final berth out of this area, Brett. And Kimberly was my pick to win Division 1. Obviously, I'm looking like the smartest guy in the world right now for 1 week anyway.
1 week anyway, yeah.
But we also lamented some of the terrible seeding that was done by the computer system, Brett. If you want to hear big rants on that, please check out the R&B show. We went at length about the HAL 9000 computer. Well, I say that, of course, in a jokingly manner, making just really bad decisions. One of them was, in my opinion, giving Kimberly a 3 seed and Neenah the 2 seed when the two teams met a few weeks ago, and Kimberly won 21 by 21 points. Head-to-head matchup does not figure in this, Brett.
And it should.
I don't know how you don't. When you group teams geographically, how do you not make that?
Oh, right. It should be. It absolutely should be. But I was wondering, too, I saw actually our colleague Doug Ritchie at Fox 11 had a little bit of a story, and he kind of laid out some of the parameters that are included in that computer seeding system, and it sounded like history. Yeah, are you going back to who cares what happened last year, 2 years ago? All that matters is this season. That shouldn't play any factor.
So
if that's indeed the case.
When two teams meet each other, whoever wins, that's as clear-cut as you get it. So you don't go with that, but you go with what they did 4 years ago?
I don't quite get
And then,
how
Brett,
that
to me,
works.
when you're basing seeds off how much you lose to another team, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous.
Definitely need to tweak that system in some form or fashion. Also, Ricardo, I think we both agree. I think a lot of people agree. There needs to be better transparency. How is this set up?
Yes.
What is the big secret? This isn't a matter of national security. This is a high school football playoffs.
Very well put.
For crying out loud, let's just know how it's set up so that people can have an educated opinion on it more so, and use that education to maybe make some improvements that would just make the whole process better in terms of seeding and figuring out how the brackets are going to look. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, yeah, so definitely check that out. I also know, Ricardo, you kind of want to get that one-on-one going again as well, and that's kind of part of the R&B show, but more of a spin-off.
It's spin-off, and it's really based more on availability. Brett, you brought up a good point. I have talked to Coach Jones about maybe being one of the guys on there. He has agreed to it. So maybe that will be my next one, Brett. I'll give him a ring, text him, and say, hey, can you come on, and we can talk at length about the football season. I'd like to get that maybe in. We'll see if I can get that in next week, Brett. That's a good point by you. And, He's always down. Jonesy always is very well. He accommodates us.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's more than willing. He put out a great book. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Was it last year? Because I know
Twin Thieves.
I had it for my some family members for Christmas last year. So yeah, Twin Thieves.
By the way, you're more than free to join us in on the discussion if you want to with Coach Jones.
Yeah, maybe so.
Why don't you join us and we can both kind of tag team a little bit and
we'll
pick his
double
brain.
team him, right, and get him all nervous. No, I don't think he'll be nervous at all by us. We're hardly imposing figures. Let's put it that way. But yeah, that'll be fun. And of course, Wednesday nights. That's usually Wednesdays is when we record that. But Wednesday nights is our Varsity Roundtable show. But you're the host of that.
And if you haven't seen the Varsity Roundtable or haven't seen it in a few years, please check it out. We have a different setup. It's actually really more of a talk show format. We have the athletes on a couch. It's really set up nicely. We have a live audience, whatever the team can bring down in terms of teammates and parents and coaches. It's a whole lot of fun. This past week we had Luxembourg girls volleyball on the show. And so far this season, Brett, we've kind of featured the teams that don't get live streams. We really do put a lot of effort into showcasing the football teams by live streams, by my columns and stuff like that. The roundtable so far this year has been featuring the other sport that's really big in our area, and that's girls volleyball.
Yeah.
So please check that out. Brett, you brought up a good point last Wednesday about maybe some cross country. That's coming up.
Yeah, it's getting close to state time.
It is. So maybe that's the way we look in terms of this Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Please check it out. You can find it on the YouTube channel. That's my favorite way to watch it, by the way. Go to the USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel and look under there. You should see actually a bunch of the replays there, Brett, from this season. So please check it out. And best place to find out who's going to be on the show is to go to facebook.com/Varsity Roundtable. We always update with who's going to be our guest for that given week.
Yeah, it'd be fun to get a lot of really good cross-country talent in this part of the state of Wisconsin in multiple divisions. So that'd be fun. I always say, though, those runners, Ricardo, the amount of running and work and weight room work that they put in is sometimes not understood, I think, by folks out there. Those kids work really, really hard, and a lot of talented runners, as I said. So also want to talk Monday night, folks. That's our weekly Green Bay Packers show. That takes place inside the Clubhouse Kitchen and Bar, which you can find inside the Hilton Appleton Paper Valley Hotel. It's a live show at 6:30, and we have dual co-hosts this year from the Green Bay Packers, wide receiver Amari Rogers and all-pro linebacker Devondre Campbell. Amari was on this past week. Devondre will be on Monday. He'll bring a teammate guest. Once I find out, I'll make that announcement on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Clubhouse Live. Give it a like. The doors open at 4 p.m. Admission is free. We give away a lot of cool items, some autographed items. It's a very intimate setting, very fun setting. And I think if you're a fan of the Green Bay Packers, you'll end up being a fan of Clubhouse Live. Already in our 14th season, show number 308 already. Coming up on Monday, we'll talk about the big Packers-Commanders game. Let's see if the Packers can snap that 2-game losing streak. All with Devondre Campbell. He's a great guy. You'll enjoy meeting him and some of the other guys on the team. If you can't make a show, you can watch it live on or anywhere on our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites, Facebook pages, facebook.com/Packers News. And Ricardo mentioned it before, the USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel. Again, give that a subscription. You don't want to miss all the great content that we have on that channel. So a lot of fun. Looking forward to Monday night. I co-host it. Ricardo does as well. Rosie is part of the production crew. And we'll see. Oh, if the Packers can't beat the Commanders, uh-oh.
Hey, Brett, just some other scores here. First off, Notre Dame's up over Reedsburg, 10-7. Remember, I think Notre Dame's a 7 seed. So good to see the Tritons leading at the half. Also, Chilton's up 7-6 over Clintonville. That's a close game there. I think that's a battle of 5 and 4 teams in terms of seeding. So that's a close one as well. Marshfield leading Pulaski 14-0 at the half.
That's a surprise to me. I thought Pulaski would go over there and win that game.
Berlin's up 28-14 now over Denmark. What other ones here? We talked about Little Chute kind of starting slow, Brett, but now they're hitting that Mustang stride. 28-0 over Winneconne. Again, DC Everest 9-0 over Hudson at the half as well. Woo, Brett. There's not a lot of upsets going on, but there's some kind of surprising scores.
Always are in Division I. First half scoring here, Ricardo. Let me quickly run
Yes.
that down. Kimberly got on the board first. 9:19 to go in the first quarter. 35-yard touchdown run by Blake Berry made it 7-0. And then with 9:21 to go in the second quarter, a 4-yard pass from Seth Myron to Isaac Deckent. That capped a 12-play, 97-yard drive. Featured a 54-yard pass to Ethan Kreider. Made it 14-0 Kimberly. And then a pair of touchdowns again for the Papermakers later in the quarter. A 64-yard hook up from Myron to Deckent with 8:13 to play in the second quarter. Made it 21-0 Kimberly. And then Barry with his second touchdown run of the night. A 20-yarder with 4:03 to play. 28-zip. Kimberly takes the lead. And then Fond du Lac closes the quarter. A 1-yard touchdown run by Steven Schreider with 21 seconds to go. The 2-point conversion attempt, the pass attempt was no good. And that's where we are at as we look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard. Kimberly with the lead, 28-6. Ricardo, if you're Sam Pluker and you're Fond du Lac, what are you telling the guys? Hey, we got a touchdown. We proved we can do it, right? Let's get a stop. Let's get our offense on the field, and let's maybe swing momentum in our favor.
Brett, by the way, Freedom up over Elcano Falls, 35-14. So thank you again, Matt Converse, with that score. Appreciate that, Matt.
And conversely, if you're Chad Michaelwitz, the head coach at Kimberly, right? Pedal to the metal.
You got to.
I would think.
They've been
right?
doing everything right.
You start the second half with the football. So far, that offense has not been stopped, and you keep trying to put points on the scoreboard and hopefully snap the will of Fond du Lac. But, Ricardo, I don't think we can overstate it enough. That touchdown drive ending with the 1-yard run by Schreider, that was huge.
They needed that in the worst way.
So Fond du Lac will kick off to start this third quarter. And, again, feeling pretty good after that touchdown drive to end the second quarter.
And if you could somehow get like a 3-and-out or maybe a 6-and-out, 7-and-out, get your offense back the ball, you score down and score, then it's a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, then who knows, right? Because that Fond du Lac offense, a little onside kick, watch out, and squirts out of bounds.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Got to pull out all the stops.
Yeah, the Fond du Lac head coach, Sam Pluker, in his first year guiding the Cardinals. He had been an assistant with Fond du Lac the previous 2 seasons. Just 24 years old, I believe. 2015 graduate here of Kimberly High School. He was a 3-year letter winner, 2-year starter at linebacker, member of the Papermakers 2013 and 14 state championship teams. Also served as an assistant coach at UW Oshkosh before joining Fond du Lac. So hoping for him, right? He wants a happy homecoming. Let's see if the Cardinals can climb back into this one. But first, they need to stop this Kimberly offense. And Blake Berry, who's got 2 rushing touchdowns, spinning his way to midfield. And a good hard run by Berry, about an 8-yard pickup.
Brett, I have Blake Berry unofficially 14 carries, 117 yards. So nice first half for him with 110 yards and starting off fast here to start the second half.
Pair of touchdown runs as well. 35 yards and 20 yards. Is Myron now on the second down play. He's going to little pitch and catch to Garbish, far sideline, still on his feet, cuts it inside and down to about the 30-yard line. So a little move there by Garbish, gets a few more yards in 1st and 10. And look at where the Papermakers are already, Ricardo, at the 30-yard line of Fond du Lac. Everything's working for Kimberly right now.
Yeah, and that's a nice 20-yard gain for Garbish. Big receiver, 6'3". You know, and then you look at Ethan Kreider, Brett. He's 6'2".
Yeah, big targets. Don't forget about Abe Coronado, the tight end, a big, strong
what
target
about
as well.
Deckent? Don't forget.
The fullback having a game as
Oh,
Myron.
way too much
He's
time.
wide open. No, almost intercepted instead.
He's got to get it out there quicker, Brett.
Yep. Coronado was open, but I think was that Eigenbrot who knocked it away. Eigenbrot, Ricardo, could have had the big interception there.
Yeah, I mean, if that play was open, Brett, but Myron has to get that ball out of his hand. Left too much time for the defense to recover and knock that ball away. Brett, we have another score here.
Okay.
from Dan Cohn, our buddy. Wrightstown 7, Xavier 3 in the third quarter.
Interesting. And you know how Wrightstown, once they get that lead, right, it's tough to take it away from them. They'll ground and pound you. I thought their ball squirted out, but nope, that was, I think it was just somebody's glove. So a good run, about a 6-yard gain for Barry, 3rd and 4 coming up. Right, Wrightstown gets that lead. They'll possess the ball, and with that ground game, always seems like they have about 3 or 4 running backs, too, that can just hurt you.
They always have like a trio of backs. Like they're all kind of similar.
Yeah, good offensive line. 4 down territory, I would think, for the Papermakers on this 3rd and 4 play. It was Myron waiting for it. He's going to toss it to Barry. Stiff arm, and he's got the first down. Wow.
Oh, he's like, get out of my way already.
Strong run by Barry, who's having a big night with 2 rushing touchdowns already. Over 100 yards on the night. 1st and 10. Ball at the 14-yard line for Kimberly.
Again, unofficially, I have Blake Berry, 134 yards, 16 carries.
That's a good night.
Brett, look over on the top. Garbish is up there one-on-one.
Yeah. Let's see if it, it's going to be Barry instead, and he's spinning his way to about the 5. 2nd down coming up. And that's where it will be spotted. 2nd down and 1, Ricardo at the 5. So, again, Kimberly can get a first down here. First down is at the 4-yard line. Haven't seen Tyson yet tonight, have we?
No Gavin Tyson.
Myron waiting for it, and there's Barry again. He's got the first down and down to about the 1-yard line. 1st and goal at the 1 coming up for Kimberly. 27-7 now. Neenah leading Brookfield East. That's with 9:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. That's down the road at Rocket Stadium in Neenah.
Well, I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Blake Berry missed a few games, Brett, middle of the season. Those legs got to be fresh.
Yeah, right. He looks fresh. And you got like a power eye there as Barry looking for the touchdown. Is he in? And now they're saying he's going to be down and right at the goal line. 2nd and goal coming up. Wow, look at the nose of the ball is practically touching the goal line where they have it spotted. How do they know that's where it is?
Exactly, right? By the way, Oak Creek and Lake Geneva Badger all tied at 14 in the 3rd quarter.
That's a good game.
Score.
I think Oak Creek was another one of those playoff seeds. I thought the folks down there weren't real pleased with that. 2nd and goal, Papermakers knocking at the door again. There's Barry, and he's easily in his 3rd touchdown run of the night. 1-yard score for Barry. And a good start for Kimberly, opening the 3rd quarter with a touchdown drive.
How many touchdowns is that for him?
That's 3.
Okay.
Now Hunter Barry, no relation.
Nope.
Spelled differently as well. Yep. On for the PAT. And splits the uprights again. And with 8:16 to play here in this 3rd quarter, Kimberly opening the 2nd half with a touchdown drive, ending on the 1-yard score by Blake Barry. And as we look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard, Papermakers up again, big, 35-6. Yeah, Blake Berry, touchdown runs of 35 yards, 20 yards, and now 1 yard. And Ricardo, you kind of when you see that formation, you got Berry there, but then it looks like you got Decken, and I think that's Abe Coronado as well.
That's your big?
And that's your big package, right? Your power package as your lead blockers. So Basically, he's telling you, hey, we're going to run the football, and you try to stop us here at the goal line.
By the way, Xavier now takes the lead over Wrightstown, 10-7, Brett.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Good battle there. The winner of that game plays, looks like Little Chute next week. That Little Chute Winneconne game just down the road a couple miles from here at the Unison Credit Union Stadium in Fitzpatrick Field.
By the way, Tri-Octon now running clock over Lords, 35-0. By the way, Jace Jenkins, 3 touchdowns for
the
Nina.
Rockets, yeah. By the way, Max Mengel there, number 44 for the Cardinals, picking that ball up off the turf and returning it to let's see where they're going to spot it. 36-yard line. It looks like 1st and 10 for the Cardinals.
Notre Dame's up 17-7 now over Reedsburg. Thank you again, everyone. That's from Travis Wilson. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and helping us with these scores. Love to keep everyone updated.
And they'll get easier to follow through the different levels. Well, let's see if Fond du Lac can answer again. Is Schreider, I think a little push pass to Dolsky. We're going to call that a pass.
By the way, Brett, Wausau West now up over Wisconsin Rapids, 21-14. We know that's an important one over there. Valley Football Association land.
Interesting how those two kind of I don't want to say the powers of the VFA, but it's interesting that they're playing each other right away in round one.
Menasha now up 21-0 over Baraboo.
Eigenbrot with the carry. 3rd down coming up. Ball will be at the 38-yard line, and look at this, Ricardo, quickly to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 8 for Fond du Lac. Cardinals wasting no time. Schreider looking to his left. Watch out. And just, I think feeling that, get a little antsy, right? Feeling that pressure coming.
Perfect description, Brett. That's exactly what happened. And there you see the cumulative effect, Brett, of those hits that Schreider's been taking. This is a proud passing offense, Brett. And they've been completely shut down for the most part by Kimberly.
Yeah, Schreider coming into the game ranked 6th in the state in all divisions in passing yardage, 2,144 yards. And desperate times call for desperate measures. 4th down, Fond du Lac going for it. Schreider, watch out, he's on the run and caught by Eigenbrot trying to make one guy miss. And let's see where they spot it. I think he got it.
He did. They have him marked out just past the 1st down.
Good job by Braden Eigenbrot to make a defender miss on that 4th down play, because if that tackle is made, he'll be stopped short. Instead, little bit of a wiggle there, right? And just enough to get the 1st down at the 48-yard line. Already Fond du Lac back at the line of scrimmage. Good effort by Eigenbrot and a nice pass by Schreider. There's a pass. Let's see. I can't get a number on 18? That.
Is that Wagner Lang?
That is Ethan Wagner Lang, and that's going to be a 1, maybe 2-yard loss. So 2nd down coming up.
Pewaukee up 14-0 over Plymouth. Plymouth giving them a good game.
Handoff. I think that's Eigenbrot trying to spin his way around and finally wrestled down. Looks like he's going to be at about the Kimberly 48-yard line. 3rd down coming up. Officials calling timeout here, Ricardo. Not sure what. Looks like an equipment issue is Ethan Doucette heading off the field. In will come Isaac Tao, number 47. 3rd and 7, ball at the 49-yard line of Kimberly for this Fond du Lac offense. Fondy down 35-6.
Bayport up 21-7 now over De Pere.
Watch out, Schreider's going to rainbow one again and just overshot Dolsky and number 20, Cody Oberman, with pretty good coverage there on the Fond du Lac junior wide receiver. So here's another 4th down play coming up. Ball at the 49-yard line, 4th and 7.
Yeah, sorry about rushing that score, Brett.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
It's 21-7, Bayport over De Pere.
And here we go again. Schreider, 4th and 7 play. Watch out, he's under pressure. lets it go, and it's going to be short, almost intercepted, but the pressure there is Schreider slow to get up off the turf, took a pretty good hit, and turnover on downs. Kimberly will take over on its own 49-yard line. They had to do it at the midfield, right? Down 35-6. Pressure getting home quickly, and that pass just underthrown as Schreider taking the hit. And Myron, a little play fake. He's got, boy, look at all this time. He wants to go downfield. Instead, I think he might tuck it around. No, slings it. Almost intercepted. Is that caught?
I think he did catch it.
Is that caught? Is that Garbage with the catch? Garbage was on the turf, Ricardo. Oh, there's a flag on the play, though. Looks like it's coming back, but that went through the defender's hands.
It did, but that was a nice laser throw from Myron, but what, I don't even know, a better catch.
Yeah, it looks like holding now is going to bring this one back, but I'm still trying to figure out how Garbage was able to secure that reception.
On his back, and he actually held the ball like, hey, I got this one.
So now first and a long way to go. Looks like they'll mark this at the 34-yard line.
First and 25.
Yeah.
Brett, Marshfield, end of the third quarter, Marshfield's up over Pulaski 14-13.
Ooh, well, the Red Raiders now coming back against the Tigers in that one. A good game. I believe that's is that in Marshfield or is that in Pulaski?
I believe that's in Marshfield. Pulaski traveled to Marshfield.
Oh, look at that tackle. How about big old 97? Brandon Danner, the senior defensive lineman, 5'11", 270 pounds, wrapping up Blake Berry, and Berry was not going to get away from that grip. Danner with a big tackle, so this drive going backwards for the Papermakers. Second down and 28. Ball at the 31-yard line. Hand off to Barry, and not much there. Looks like number 34, Rhett Lavaca, I want to say, and 55. I don't see a 55 on the roster for Fond du Lac. Like a 55 on the field, but nothing on the program here. But Rhett, a sophomore defensive back, one of the guys in on that tackle as Blake Berry was brought down. Ricardo, 3rd and 27. What's in the playbook here? Probably just a handoff and punt it away, right?
By the way, Drew Jolton just scored his 5th touchdown on a fumbled punt and return.
Oh, jeez.
And the Mustangs lead Winnicott 35-0. Running clock there too, Brett.
Yeah. So a little shoot, undefeated, and as Blake Berry, oh boy, still on his feet. Look at this. What a run that was. And now you have 4th down and probably an opportunity for Chad Michaelwitz. I almost said Michaelkavich. Yeah, he did. To probably think about going for this 4th and 4 now, ball at the 45-yard line. How far of a run was that for Barry?
23 yards.
Yeah, Little Shoot, boy, that's a good-looking football team, isn't it? On its way to going to 10-0 on the season, Northeastern Conference champions.
West De Pere up 49-7 over Holman.
Well, let's see. Gavin Tyson now in at running back is Myron. A little bit of a low snap. Throws, and I think he got did he get it? That's Garbage with the first down catch. Wow, ball at the 39-yard line. Good hands and concentration by Garbage. And a good throw by Myron. Ricardo go from a 3rd and 27 to a first down.
Well, hey, look at this. Marshfield's now up 21-13 over Pulaski. Thank you again for all these score updates. I'll try to rattle off as many as I can.
1st and 10 for the Papermakers now at the 39-yard line. Myron, handoff to Gavin Tyson, and he's looking for some yards. Big hit. Brought down by Braden Eigenbrot. Ricardo, I was looking up this today as I was doing some of the game notes. Kimberly's overall record dating back to the 2013 season, 119-6.
Is that good?
Well, that's a .952 winning percentage.
Oh, okay.
That stretch, that includes the 2021 spring alternate season, highlighted, of course, by those 5 consecutive state championships from 2013 to 2017, and that state record 70-game winning streak. We have another equipment issue. Looks like, is that Myron has to check out of the game, and in comes Carson Pendleton, the junior quarterback. As
the younger brother of Caden,
I'm assuming that might be the case, but it looks like Myron, I don't know if there's some sort of an equipment issue. And second down, and 6, ball at the 35-yard line as Pendleton now waiting for the snap. Hands off to Tyson, looking for some room over the middle and wrestled down. Third down coming up.
Nice patience by Tyson there, Brett, to get what he could, picking his way through that line.
And Myron going to check back into the game. Pewaukee up 21-0, 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Any more news on Appleton North and
that's what I'm trying to find.
Chippewa Falls? That's been a pretty close game.
Wouldn't be surprised if it ends at 3-0.
Yeah. 3rd and 3 for the Papermakers at the 32-yard line. Myron back in at quarterback. Catches the snap, and Tyson Eigenbrot, one of the defenders there. Number 68, Matt Rush, also a junior defensive lineman. 4th and 1 at the 30-yard line for Kimberly. And Kimberly doing what they have to do, Ricardo. Just you're up 35-6, you're controlling the clock now and just bleeding it out here in this third quarter. And a direct snap to Barry. Oh, boy. Wow, he's still almost finally brought down by Rocky Duran. I think I misspoke. Deckant is one of the lead blockers, and I think the other is Sam Miller, number 81, a senior fullback / tight end, so 6'2", 217 pounds. So 2 strong guys with Deckant and Miller in as your lead blockers there in 4th and 1, and Barry had a whole lot of running space. Ball at the 14-yard line, 1st and 10.
I have him unofficially 24 carries, 185 yards, Brett, for Blake Berry.
Right, and now Tyson with the carry, looking to.
Oh, there's some room.
Yeah. Ricardo, I'm going to try to get some numbers of those guys up front, maybe give them a little love here tonight, too, because they've been having a whale of a game. You got 69,
okay,
60,
yep,
73,
okay,
74,
okay,
and 56.
Let me get those. Don't forget the fullback.
Yeah, number 40 and number 88, Coronado as well. And then I mentioned Miller, Sam Miller. There's 2 81s on the roster, a senior and a sophomore. I'm assuming it's Sam Miller, the 6'2 senior, is one of those other big guys doing a lot of work in the blocking game for the Papermakers. As Tyson, nope, well, yeah, where is he? Tyson, there he is, and he's in. Is he in? He's in from 6 yards out. First touches of the game for Tyson coming on this drive, and he finishes it off with a 6-yard touchdown run. That actually, Ricardo, the final play of the quarter. Hunter Berry now again in for the PAT, and that sails through. And as we look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard, Kimberly another touchdown, 42-6 lead over Fond du Lac, 12 minutes to go here at Papermaker Stadium. All Kimberly tonight. Very impressive, Ricardo, on both sides of the ball.
Running clock was the furthest thing from my mind, Brett, when I was, kind of thinking about this game. as we were going to do it. By the way, Xavier's now up 17-7 over
Wow,
Wrightstown. Brett,
interesting.
let me read off these offensive linemen. You took the time to give me these numbers, and this is what we got here. Give some love out to Blake Loker, 6'2", 285-pound senior. And then we got number 60, Braden Dickman, 5'11", 255-pound junior. 73, Nick Schroer, 6', 230-pound senior. Then we got big number 74, Ben Youngworth, 6'1", 260 pounds. He's a senior. And then don't forget about number 56, Nick Plowman. He's a 6'2", 288-pound junior. Those are your starting offensive linemen. Again, don't forget about Abe Coronado. He does a lot of that dirty work as well.
Isaac
Decken, showing you some of the playmaking ability, but he is a very good blocking back as well.
Same with Sam Miller
and
as
Sam
well.
Miller.
Yeah, so those guys have had a whale of a game in the trenches. Opening up running lanes for Blake Berry now as we see number 24, Gavin Tyson, his first touchdown run of the night. Actually, the Papermakers, 4 touchdown runs on the evening. Blake Berry with 3, Tyson now with 1, and a pair of touchdown passes from Myron to Isaac Decken.
I'll be talking to Decken, I'm sure, after this game, Brad. Got to talk about his role in the run game and then showing off that playmaking ability in the pass game.
Hey, by the way, I wanted to let everybody know we have Dan Powers here tonight. I can't see him along the sidelines, but he's here, our photojournalist. He's taking pictures tonight, so be sure to check out postcrescent.com and fdlreporter.com later tonight for some great action shots of this first-round playoff game here at Papermaker Stadium. Is the fourth quarter now.
By the way, Southside Rob's getting us some scores. Thank you again, Southside Rob. We really appreciate this. What we got here, Oak Creek 14-14 with Lake Geneva Badger. It's a third quarter update. Brookfield Central really having a hard time with Union Grove, Brett, 15-7. That's at the half. And then 2 minutes ago, he gave me a update. Franklin 18, Racine Horlick 8.
Also have a Notre Dame update. Triton's now up 24-7.
Okay. Boy. Notre Dame and Menasha second-round game, BC.
That's a big one, isn't it?
It is.
An FRCC North rematch. Menasha won that one. Was that a Week 7 game as well? I think they met at Calder Stadium Week 7.
They did. I think Menasha won 28-21. Hey, Brett, end of the third quarter. North still leads. Appleton North still leads over Chippewa Falls 3-0.
Ooh, gee. That's a little too close for comfort if you're an Appleton North fan, isn't it? So we're going to re-kick this one here. And, yeah, running clock now the rest of the way, right?
It is.
36-point lead for Kimberly. Ricardo, I was not expecting a blowout tonight. That just wasn't.
No. Neither was I. Though I did feel that Kimberly would play better with that chip on their shoulder, not just because of the 3 seed, but because they didn't play well down at Fond du Lac a few weeks ago.
Yeah, well, Fondy preventing. Whoops, that's a live ball as Tyler Brandner needs to go get that one. Prevented, I guess, Kimberly from winning the conference championship outright. Instead, Kimberly and Neenah, they shared the FVA championship this season, both finishing with 6-1 league records. Papermakers, by the way, have won or shared 9 consecutive conference titles. That excludes the 2021 spring alternate season. We're wiping that from our memories, right?
Yes.
Included titles in the Valley Football Association North and the Fox Valley Association. Kimberly, really going back, has actually won or shared conference championships in every season, but 2 dating back to the 06 season.
Brett, we never speak of that 2020 season in terms of the playoffs because there was none.
It was just kind of odd, wasn't it?
But we missed seeing a team like Fond du Lac winning it all, though. That's the only the only sad thing.
That is, right? Yeah, that would have been a heck of a run for the Cardinals. They had a dream team with Kyle Waljasper, Braylon Allen. There's a little push pass to Dolsky, who's got some wheels. Watch out. Boy, look at him fly down that far sideline. He might go in. And he is finally tripped up, but wow. Some big-time wheels by Tanner Dolsky on that, really just a little push pass at the right behind the line of scrimmage. Ball will be at the 5-yard line.
66-yard play, Brett.
So 1st and goal now at the 5 for Steven Schreider. He's going to hand it off to Braden Eigenbrot, looking for some space. He'll be brought down at the 2, it looks like.
Now, Brett, is the second team defense? No, that Lawton was chasing him down.
Now I see a Rockets up 34-7. So Neenah much like Kimberly in command, and those two teams looking like they're going to have a collision course next week, Friday night at Rocket Stadium.
Look
High
out.
snap. Whoa.
How did Eigenbro get that?
I can't believe Eigenbro. Did Schreider kind of knock that to him on the high snap? Almost looked like Schreider kind of tipped that towards Eigenbro.
Brett, Appleton North now up 6-0.
Oh, jeez.
Another Caden Pop field goal. That's 11 minutes left in the fourth, Brett.
That's kind of the offense, right? How many times? What did we say last week when we streamed the Appleton North game at Oshkosh North that I think Pop had figured into 55% of the scoring? Whoa. Schreider was hit as he delivered that ball. So third down coming up, or is that going to be?
Is there a flag?
Well, let's see.
I don't see one.
No, I don't see one, but fourth down now coming up.
Hey, we're all tied between Berlin and Denmark, 28-28, Brett.
Ooh, the Vikings with a big comeback.
We told you, that NEC, every team is pretty good. How rare is it, Brett, for every team to make the playoffs? That's got to be a one-time kind of fluke thing, right?
Well,
they
right.
play those crossover games with the Bay.
Right, and dominated those games as far as winning and losing goes, right? But you think, what, Little Chute, Freedom, Wrightstown, Luxembourg, Casco, FVL, and Denmark, the 6-team Northeastern Conference, all in the playoffs. So Kimberly will decline look like illegal shift penalty, 4th and 5, or 4th and goal, I should say, at the 5. So can the Papermakers put together a little defensive stand here? Schreider slinging it and knocked away.
Wow. Oh, flag.
They got a flag. Lawton thinks he had it. Ethan Wagner Lang clapping his hands, and the fans in front of us are booing. 40-7 now. I see the Rockets taking it to Brookfield East with 11:23 to go in the fourth quarter. Slinger and Germantown from our friend Michael Graber, tied at 21 apiece. He's thinking Kaukauna might get the winner of that game, Ricardo.
Ooh, that's a good game.
So is this a fourth down again now at the 2-yard line? So here we go again, 4th and goal. And a snap, and is Dolsky trying to squeeze his way in? I think he's short.
Wow,
and he is
what
stopped.
Another great defensive play. Boy, that's pride right there, Brett, by that Kimberly defense.
He is stopped short of the goal line, and now Kimberly.
Are they marking that at the 1, Brett? Can you see that?
Where they have this? Yeah, at the Kimberly 1. So now a chance for the Papermakers to run it out, as we do have a running clock here in this first round game.
Well, like you said, the final. Did you read this one off? West of Pier 56 home and 7.
No.
Big win for the Phantoms. Bondwell's up over Crivets. Hey, Rosie's Assumption's up 34-18, Rosie, into the third quarter.
He's a proud Royal, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And now you have Pendleton back in at quarterback. Trying to close this one out. That's number 35 with the carry. Braden, is it Plew?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Senior running back. Stop for no gain. Well, I think I can tell the folks watching tonight that I actually, it looks like Kimberly's going to win this one, right? It looks like Nina's going to win that one. So we will be at Rocket Stadium next Friday night for a WIAA Division I second-round game between Kimberly and Nina. Should be a whale of a game. Braden Plew with the carry again. Ricardo, that should be a whale of a game, a collision course again. The two co-champions of the FVA. We will be there. That will be our varsity game of the week live stream next Friday night at Rocket Stadium.
By the way, Menasha up now over Baraboo 27-0. Pewaukee up 23-0 over Plymouth. We got here 3rd down and 5.
3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 range as Plew gets it again. Trying to squeeze through, and Would think that Chad Michaelwitz will want to bring out the punt team, wouldn't you think, at this
I'd agree.
spot here? 4th down coming up. Running clock this entire 4th quarter. Ball will be at the 8-yard line. 4th and 4 for the Papermakers. Ricardo, they're just going to let this clock run out and maybe burn a timeout.
End of the 3rd quarter, Little shoot up 35-0 over Winneconne. Now Pewaukee leads 30-0 over Plymouth. See what else we got here. No surprise here, Wanakee up 39-0 over Sheboygan North.
Looks like we got a timeout for the Papermakers. Letting as much time off the clock as possible here in the late stages of what has been all Kimberly here, 42-6. Again, as we look at our Unison Credit Union Cellcom scoreboard. So yeah, again, we'll be back at it next Friday night. WIAA Division I second round playoff game. Kimberly at Neenah. Live coverage will kick off from Rocket Stadium at 6:45 p.m. You can access our Game of the Week live streams on any of our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites. Just go to the sports section and scroll down until you see the Watch Our Varsity Game of the Week Prep live streams link. Don't forget about also that digital subscription deal. Post Crescent, Fond du Lac Reporter, any of our sites. $1 for 6 months. You can go to postcrescent.com/subscribe. Any of our sites /subscribe. It takes you all the way through the winter season. If you're big into high school sports, also gives you access, right, to all of your premium-only content, Ricardo.
End of the 3rd quarter, 28-7, Bayport up over De Pere.
Looking good for the Pirates. Is the Kimberly going to punt this one away? Nice high punt. That's number 14, Lance Doring, doing the punting. And Tyler Brandner with the catch as the clock continues to run. What do you got coming up? You're going to go down there and talk to some guys, I would imagine, on the Kimberly side?
Coach Pluker, and then I got to talk to Deckent about his big game, and obviously Coach Michaelwitz, and, maybe get his thoughts about the upcoming Neenah game, and a game that they dominated. Remember, week 8, was it? Or week 9? No, week 8.
That was week 8. Yeah, we were here streaming that game.
Exactly, and I know they're a team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
That should be a whale of a game. That's 2 top 10 teams going at it in the state of Wisconsin in a second round game. 2 top 10 teams going at it.
Hey, blame the Hell 9000 for that one.
He's trying to get on camera there for Rosie. Our friend Officer Diss in there hanging out. And a pass from Schreider. Nice throw. And a catch by Ethan Wagner-Lang. Yeah, that should be a whale of a game. And then I haven't heard a Wanakee score yet, but I'm assuming.
Oh, they were up 39-0 over Sheboygan North.
No surprise there. The winner of the Kimberly Neenah game more than likely having to go down to Wanakee, now a Division I team, as Eigenbrot with the carry down to the 6. That should be an interesting game, too, and I don't know if I necessarily agree that an FVA co-champion, because one of those 2 teams will emerge into the state quarterfinal, if that's fair for them to go down to Wanakee. I think we both agree that this league's tougher than that league.
No doubt about that.
Schreider gonna sling it over, and a little high on that. 3rd down coming up. Running clock again through this entire 4th quarter. Final game here at Papermaker Stadium, Ricardo. I would assume, unless Wanakee
loses in the next round.
Yeah, and that might have been a false start. Yeah, if obviously next week's game will be at Neenah, so if Kimberly were to win that one and Wanakee falls, then obviously you come back here for a state quarterfinal game. Kind of thinking you're looking down the line too. Boy, if you could have a Bayport Appleton North state quarterfinal, you could have a Little Chute Freedom state quarterfinal. There'd be some fantastic matchups there as we get closer to Camp Randall Stadium time in Madison, where I know you will be down there eating those Well, we're not talking food tonight. I don't.
Flesh-colored
nope.
hot dogs.
We're not talking
Hey, by the
food
way,
tonight.
this is a little bit of an upset. I think Keele beating Wittenberg Burnham Wood 16-6. I think that's a mild upset. Lower seed beating a higher seed. Some of these are just have really kind of come to form here. Pewaukee big over Plymouth, 37-0.
Timeout Fond du Lac, by the way.
Chilton holds on to beat Clintonville 7-6.
That's too bad for the Truckers. Congratulations to Chilton, but
Thank you, Jeff Ash, for that update score.
Clintonville back-to-back playoff appearances after some lean years for the Truckers in the Northeastern Conference. 3rd and 8, ball at the 11-yard line for Fond du Lac out of this timeout. Schreider with a low snap. Going to loft one over to Ethan Wagner-Lang, and he's got it from an 8-yard hookup. Schreider and Wagner-Lang. Nice job by Wagner-Lane, Ricardo, jumping high and snaring that one down. And a 2-point conversion attempt coming up for Schreider and the Cardinals. And a little push pass to Bradner, looking for a seam, and he is in for the 2-point conversion pass. And as we look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard, 42-14 now. Fond du Lac with the lead, or Kimberly with the lead, excuse me. 8-yard pass from Schreider to Wagner-Lane, and then the 2-point pass from Schreider to Bradner. Well, Ricardo, Kimberly going to run this one out, get ready for that big second-round matchup between themselves and the Rockets. Again, we'll be streaming that game next Friday night at Rocket Stadium, so be sure to check out our Varsity Game of the Week live stream coverage on that one. I guess some quick thoughts. What do you think? Kimberly kind of looks every bit the part of a state championship contender tonight, don't they?
I mean, I have them picked to win it all. But then again, like we talked about on the podcast, where you could pick 5 or 6 teams in D1 to win it all.
Wide open. A lot of good teams.
I just think they're the most – them and Bayport, to me, are the most complete teams. That's taken nothing away from Neenah. I just think, head-to-head, they beat Neenah by 3 touchdowns. And both teams actually had mistakes on both sides of the ball. It's not like, Kimberly won the turnover advantage. I think Kimberly might have had more turnovers than Neenah.
Ball onside kick goes out of bounds. Yeah, again, we've talked about it a few times here tonight. Not expecting a running clock game in the fourth quarter, especially when a few weeks ago, right, Fond du Lac beating Kimberly. Was that 31-21?
It was 31-21. And again, like I said, I talked to Michaelwitz about a week after that game, actually after they beat Neenah, and I asked him about that. He said, we didn't play well. Not just that, they were missing key guys. And you see how some of those frontline Kimberly guys, when they're healthy, they do make a difference.
Well, it's interesting because Kimberly responded to that loss to Fond du Lac by beating Neenah, a game we streamed at Week 8, 31-10, and then a 42-28 victory last week against Kaukauna, and then responding now to that loss to the Fond du Lac with a blowout win here, 42-14 the lead and running clock. So good response if you're Chad Michaelwitz and Kimberly. But congratulations to Sam Pluker, his first year at Fond du Lac, a young coach. He's going to have some good things going. They're going to have a new turf field at the high school next year. So a lot of momentum for this program that always, they're formidable. They're one of the upper echelon teams in the FVA, and I think he's got good things in store for himself. And good to see at Fond du Lac, I guess upgrade, would you say, from Fruth Field?
Yes.
As much as we enjoy our trips down to Fruth and the setting, but it's needed, and good to have a turf field coming up for them on campus next season. Schreider, heck of a career for him.
A lot of good players.
Yeah, Ethan
Dalsky.
Wagner-Lang. Dalski's a junior, so
he
he's
is
coming back.
Eigenbro's a senior.
Eigenbrot's a senior and a good player. Bradner, a good player, and a lot of these guys. But I'm sure Sam Pluker, after this one, he'll go over the film and put it to bed and get ready for the 2023 season in short order.
So what else got? Still 28-28 at the end of the third quarter between Berlin and Denmark.
Looks like Ricardo Fondi burning a timeout here with a third down play coming up. But yeah, definitely check out Ricardo's post-game stories. He'll have like an all Appleton City story and then a surrounding area story. You can only get that if you're a subscriber, though.
That's right.
Subscriber only. So, again, $1 for 6 months. You'll have quotes and comments.
Look at him.
Plu with a big run and a first down run to put it away for good. Please be a subscriber, and you can get all the great content. And as I mentioned before, check out Dan Power's photo gallery after this one as well.
Brett, there's another upset southwestern part of the state, southeastern, I'm sorry. Lake Geneva Badger beat Oak Creek.
They took them down, huh?
They did, 21-14. Get another lower seed beating a higher seed.
And victory formation now for the Papermakers. One final play before this one is official. And all zeros across the scoreboard as we look at our Unison Credit Union and Cellcom scoreboard. Kimberly with a victory tonight, 42-14 over Fond du Lac. That means the third-seeded Papermakers heading down the road to play second seed and FVA rival Neenah. That's a game, two top 10 teams in the state of Wisconsin. We will be there for our varsity game of the week football live stream, second round coverage from Rocket Stadium. We'll start it all off at 6:45 p.m. Ricardo, can't wait to check out that one. Should be a whale of a game.
It should be. A great game tonight for Kimberly. That's going to be Neenah started a little slow, but then they came back and knocked off Brookfield East. So interesting to see how that one will evolve, Brett. I know Neenah would like to get the bad taste of that loss out of their mouth.
And not only that, but there's been a lot of griping about the Kimberly getting the 3 seed and Neenah getting the 2 seed. I'm guessing Neenah's going to be a little bit cranky and getting tired of hearing about that. Now you just play football, and let's face facts, it's not like it's a long road trip.
No, it's not.
Okay,
but I'm sure Kimberly would rather play here than play down
on
in
the turf instead of the grass.
Yes.
Well, it
is
what it is.
Either way, we're there.
We're there and looking forward to it. But now you just play the games and you quit complaining. And who's next? It's Neenah and Kimberly. That should be a whale of a game. Looking forward to next Friday night. So you got to head down there, huh?
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you again, Brett and Rosie. And we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good. Okay, Ricardo, I'm going to run down the scoring before we sign off from Papermaker Stadium. Kimberly gets on the scoreboard first. A 35-yard touchdown run by Blake Berry with 9:19 to go in the first quarter. Made it 7-0 Kimberly. And then second quarter, the first of 3 touchdowns scored by the Papermakers. The first, a 4-yard pass from Seth Myron to Isaac Deckent. That came with 9:21 to play in the second quarter. Made it 14-0 Kimberly. That capped a 12-play, 97-yard drive, and was highlighted by that 54-yard connection from Myron to Ethan Kreider. And then Deckent, about a minute later with 8:13 to play in the second quarter, a 64-yard hookup between him and Myron made it 21-0 Kimberly, and the Papermakers in complete command from the get-go. Blake Berry adding a 20-yard touchdown run with 4:03 to play in the second quarter. 28-zip Kimberly with the lead. And then Fond du Lac, a 1-yard touchdown run by quarterback Steven Schreider with 21 seconds to play in the second quarter. 28-6 Kimberly led at the half. A pair of third-quarter touchdowns for the Papermakers. Blake Berry, a 1-yard score with 8:16 to go in the third. That's his third touchdown of the night. Made it 35-6 Kimberly. And then a 6-yard touchdown run by Gavin Tyson as time expired in the third quarter. Made it 42-6 Kimberly. A late touchdown pass from Schreider to Ethan Wagner-Lang. 1:51 to play. The 2-point pass was also good from Schreider to Tyler Bradner. 42-14 Fond du Lac scoring there, and that's how this game comes to a close. Kimberly improves to 9-1 on the season. The third-ranked Papermakers. They're going to take on the Rockets. I think the Rockets, ranked 5th, I want to say, maybe in the large division final state poll. I'll have to check that out. That's going to be a whale of a second-round game in Division One. That's who the Papermakers will play, and will take that 9-1 record down to Neenah. Fond du Lac finishes its season at 5-5. As for us, again, I've been talking about it here in the fourth quarter. We will be back at it next Friday night in the WIAA Division One second-round playoff game. We're going to be down at Neenah and Rocket Stadium to check out these Papermakers against the rival Rockets. Live coverage kicks off at 6:45 p.m. Looking forward to that. Thanks again to our playoff sponsor, Unison Credit Union. Unison proudly provides the people and businesses of Northeast Wisconsin with exceptional banking services and trusted financial guidance delivered by friendly experts. And thank you as well to our season sponsor, Cellcom. Save 50% on select smartphones, plus get $200 off smartwatches with a smartphone purchase. New flex agreement and monthly service required. Visit cellcom.com/fall for details. And finally, a thank you as well to our apparel sponsor, Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel. Spread the word about your organization. Contact them today, 920-731-0922. Send them an email, Cooney, COONEYS 0922 at sbcglobal.net. So for Ricardo, for Rosie, and of course the crew with USA Today Network Wisconsin, I'm Brett Christopherson signing off from Papermaker Stadium here in Kimberly, Wisconsin. Once again, the final score tonight, Kimberly 42, Fond du Lac 14. Thanks for watching, everybody.